Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Gardens of Golshan. I am your dungeon master, Eliza, aka Darling Archer, and we are going to get right into the thick of the action. But before we do, I would love to have all my players introduce themselves. You guys know what to do.
Hi, I'll start. My name is Ainsley. I also stream sometimes on Twitch as Lace Transformer, and I am playing Zozo Baab, who Bugbear Paladin, who is super worshipful of all things musical and art-like, and yet has no talent, absolutely zero. And he likes dumplings a lot.
Hi guys, I'm Justin. I publish games under Sweatapunk Studios, and I love to play role-playing games, often with these people. And I'm playing as Corvell, who is a bit of a swashbuckler and was born a noble, but has been trying to reject that lifestyle as long as he can. Just really hanging out with anyone who he thinks his dad wouldn't like. But recently his father passed away, and he's had to come home and take on responsibilities and attend this wedding. And is currently just enjoying a massage, I think, not really expecting anything to go wrong.
Hey everyone, I'm Anastasia. I am playing Muhaka, the Warforged Bard, who up until this party was nothing but an entertainer and tinkerer who made music boxes. Now she's once more, skin deep in trouble and mystery and shenanigans, and God, she hates to admit it, but she misses it.
Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm playing Chastity. She is a tiefling warlock who passes for human. She loves to get up to mischief and anything that delights her at that moment in time, and she really embraces her tiefling side. She is at this palace for entertainment and to pester her twin brother, Belief. And right now she's just taking advantage of these hot springs and chilling naked.
Alrighty then, and yes, hello all. Reed, and I am playing the aforementioned Belief, who is not naked for the record, because I take my sort of tutorship to be / guard duty of the Lady Petro seriously. Yes, I am also tiefling, of course. Used to be this group's fighter, then lost my leg and my way a bit, and sort of am now a wizard, at least to a degree. I am not getting a bath. I'm just sort of standing around out in the antechamber with my familiar Proof, who is looking a little extra puffy because of the whole humidity situation in this room, and is not 100% down with this whole situation, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Like a raven in a bathhouse.
Yep, hey, that old phrase. Right?
So, as you may have gathered from the context clues, our heroes, while attending a lavish noble wedding, kind of got roped into investigating a mysterious death, and have deduced that though one death has already happened, the original target of this assassination attempt is still out there, Lady Petra, and she probably still needs to be protected since, the whole assassination attempt thing did fail. As a thank you for their ongoing investigation into her mother's death, and also in the hopes that if anything bad should happen, they could protect her, Lady Petra has invited the group to attend her as she undergoes a traditional pre-wedding bathing ritual. Of course, ladies only in the actual ritual. The gentlemen are outside getting massages or not, as their fancy suits them. And of course, wouldn't you know it, something bad did happen. Although exactly what it is still remains to be seen. Chastity and Muhaka both watched in horror as Lady Petra, who was submerged in the water at the time, sort of started struggling, almost as though she were drowning. And then they managed to run over and haul her back up so that her head broke the water. But they saw that she was still covered in some sort of film, maybe just water. And the water kind of pulled itself off of Petra's face just long enough to look at them and form itself into sort of this extended, screaming visage. At the same time, a bunch of they heard another woman in the room, a servant, scream as figures began to materialize, tiny flying figures materializing out of the mist that is drifting off of these warm bathing pools. And so, without further ado, we are going to hop right into the action. I have already had my lovely players roll some initiative for us, and we find ourselves right at the top of the order with Muhaka. Muhaka, you have just grabbed Lady Petra by the shoulders and hauled her up out of the water, and this sort of creature just detached itself from her face, essentially, and is looking at you full of malice. What do you do?
This thing is still wrapped around her and it's not letting go.
It doesn't seem that way.
All right, then Muhaka will start whispering and chanting at it, and hopefully can cast a spell Dissonant Whispers on it to make it let go.
All right, it is going to go ahead and roll a saving throw against that spell. What kind of saving throw? Wisdom?
DC 14.
Dookie dookie. Ooh, natural 20.
Dang it! And that was casted at level 1 because it was all right.
Yeah, you cast the spell at the creature, but you don't even necessarily see if it has ears. You feel the spell leave you, the ripples kind of going into the creature. Does it take half damage on a failed save or on a successful save?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
it
go
simply
ahead.
does not use its reaction to run away.
All right, roll that damage.
It takes 5 psychic damage.
5 points of psychic damage. All right, you notice something. Sorry, they're technically in the same space here. You notice that as the sort of whisper leaves your mouth, this creature is still very much wrapped around Petra, and it doesn't, like, a little bit of the water sloughs off, but you also see her flinch.
Even with
Do I notice that?
Let's see,
'Cause
what's
I
your
would be next
passive?
to- Oh, it's not good. I think it's like 12. It's 12.
All right. I don't.
All right. That's your action. Yeah, I think yeah, you're over
Seems
there
that's
hauling
good, yeah.
Petra up as well. You see her kind of flinch.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, that'll be all. Or yeah, actually, I will tell Lady Petra is like, hang in there, and give her a bardic inspiration.
Okay. Duly noted. Belief.
And that'll be all.
You are out in the next room and you hear screaming. What do you do? And then splashing. What do you do?
Oh no one could have seen this about to happen. Sorry, brief point of mechanical order. I don't see myself in the turn order. That being said,
You are here at 18, looks like.
True. I think that actually us, the party, is hidden for me for some reason. I'll fix that later. Probably my problem. I'm going to
No,
move.
I have it too.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I'm going to. I'm on a rug. That's not a couch. Whatever. Anyway,
It's a rug.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just sort of standing there, leaning on my staff, just sort of killing time because.
Just watching us enjoy massages.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, trying to watch other more relevant things than that, but you know.
What's more relevant than watching us get amazing massages?
Getting a massage? My brother's so lame.
Well,
No
maybe
comment.
you get some type of enjoyment out of it. Just saying.
No,
Quiet.
it's just like
Quiet, you.
self-punishment.
Yeah, that's what it is. Penance and whatnot. Okay, so I hear screaming, immediately perk up and start sort of hopping towards the door. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. My move speed gets me to there, so I'm going to dash and burst through the door dramatically, such as it is.
Okay.
And yeah, so I get to there and I see the scene as you described it. Is if the creature is still visible, basically just as like a thin film over Petra, I'm not sure that I would notice it immediately.
It has sort of uncoiled part of its matter to scream soundlessly at Muhaka.
Right,
So basically what you see is it wrapped around Petra and then sort of this tendril that looks almost like eel-like.
Okay, fair enough. But basically, I can identify a creature type thing of some
Yes.
or something weird happening. Okay, great, cool. So seeing that, I sort of stopped for a second and just sort of caught halfway between what the and I knew this was going to happen, and then just call over my shoulder, Zozo, grab your weapon. Petra is under attack. And immediately kind of start trying to figure out how I'm going to get in there and actually help. But I'm out of action, so I can't really do much of anything right now.
Okay, yeah, you run up, throw open the door, and begin assessing the situation. You see, I think a couple. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to just give me a perception check.
Sure. Perception, not one of my skills, multivarious. No, not really. Yeah, 5.
Yeah, you are pretty focused entirely on the scene between Petra and Muhaka that is unfolding in front of you.
That's fair. Yeah, so I don't see anything else, but yeah, just like, Zozo, now!
Zozo Ba'ab, it is your turn. Ainsley, I think you might be muted.
Sorry, yeah, I was muted. Okay, so I have heard this. I have been getting this amazing massage. I feel like there were 3 people massaging me because I'm so large. Just
And there was an extra person, they were prepared, but like
a little weird. It's weird, right? The claws, the whole 9. They tried to get me to get a manicure, but I didn't. Sorry. I just wanted to paint the picture. So I'm going to jump up. My sword and shield I did keep nearby, and I'm gonna just start running towards where I hear the splashing and the screaming and Belief's voice coming from.
Yeah,
Do you have
you
your
can.
armor on?
Sorry?
Do you have your armor on?
I think I do. I have my armor on. Yeah, I was getting a foot massage, as we said.
Okay.
So maybe not boots.
Yeah, so you go splashing barefoot through this small pool surrounding the massage table that's sending up fragrant steam. You snatch up your sword and shield from where they're lying leaned on one of the columns, supporting the arches over this beautiful scenario. Your full 30 feet of movement. Technically, you were prone, so half your movement to get up. And then, so that gets you basically like out of the pool, picking up your stuff. But you can dash into the room with your action if you would like to do so.
Yes, I would like to dash into the room for my action, please.
Okay, yeah, put yourself where you would like to be.
Right by my good buddy Billy.
Excellent. And if you could also give me a perception check as you run in and sort of evaluate this situation.
Yes. That is a 5.
Again, very focused on sort of getting the shield, pulling the sword out, just sort of running in.
It's a very intense moment.
Yeah, there's a lot
Muhaka
going
and
on.
Petra bonding over her death experience.
Getting out of that head state of like, oh yeah, foot massage. You know.
Yeah, that's disorienting. Yeah.
It was. I was in like the massage zone for sure. Okay, so that is the end of my action, right? I've done my dash and that's that. Okay.
All right. Muhaka. The creature, which is still very much like glommed on to Lady Petra, is going to sort of uncoil just a little bit more of its material and try and push you. Like, basically, you see it rear backward and then try and slam forward to knock you away from her. It is going to go ahead and make a slam attack.
I don't like this. It's gonna hit me.
You never know. No, it rolled a 9. I think you kind of see it telegraphing this move as it uncoils and are able to dodge out of the
Dip
way.
under the water.
Yeah, do a little dive. Nice.
And then I come back up and water's just pouring everywhere. It's like a waterfall, just like through the metal. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You see it do that, and then just kind of, you see the jaw again silently kind of gape in frustration as it sort of pulls the rest of its body back around Lady Petra, who's sort of clawing at her face, trying to get it off of her. Corvell.
Okay, so I think when we hear the screams, Corvell was like right mid-sentence giving Belief a hard time about how like nothing bad's gonna happen here, like allow yourself to relax for like 2 seconds, what could possibly go wrong, and then like screams erupt from the other. Obviously they dash to the rescue, and Corvell like turns over on the massage table and is just like looking for any piece of equipment he can find because he was totally relaxed. And yeah, he'll like dash across, pick up his sword, I guess, if it's around, and run into the other room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that good?
Yeah, because you can dash as a bonus action. Don't forget.
Yes.
As a rogue.
But so as I run in the other room, I just see. What do I see? I see like.
Go ahead and
tendril.
give me a perception check.
Sure. That's a 3.
Yeah, I think you see exactly that. You see some. Actually, I think what you see is you see Petra like take a swing at Muhaka, who dives underwater. You know, you're not even quite sure what you're seeing.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Corvell just dives in the water with his bonus action, but then I think he's just swimming around underwater, like trying to like figure out what is even happening. But he'll definitely like rush right in to try to like, you know, help or save the princess if she's in danger.
Yes, this seems very in keeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, get into the water. That has worked well for you.
All right, yeah, we see Corvell leap up from the massage table, snatch his rapier, run past. I like to imagine him just sort of diving straight between Belief and Zozo, swan diving into the other pool.
And roll like Corvell. There's a, and he's already in the water.
Yeah.
It's just like a, you know. It looks good. It's like a smooth dive.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not used to jumping into this much water.
Okay, excellent. Chastity, you are up next.
Okay, so I have a question.
Indeed.
Can my packed weapon be a short bow? It can be anything I want when I call it, right? It's not like that.
No, there's a specific invocation you have to take for it to be able to be a ranged weapon.
Oh, never mind.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, you already have the ultimate ranged weapon.
Well, I know, but I wanted to send it to hell with my packed blade.
You can summon your blade. You
I'm
can
gonna
stabby.
Yeah, I'm gonna summon my blade just in case, so I don't have to do that later. I'm gonna summon my blade, and can I like look at this thing and like try to figure out what it is?
Yes, but first will you describe to us what summoning your blade looks like? How does that work?
Oh. Yes.
It's gotta be hella extra.
Yeah, I know.
Hello,
4
sir.
different things came into my head, but I was like, some of those are inappropriate. she like snaps her fingers, and this like door opens up very like slowly, almost like you're summoning your packed weapon because you're in the middle of battle. So the fact that this like door exaggeratedly slowly opens up as if like, I suppose I will take the time to kill you, to dispatch you. It's just kind of like if a door could open and flip somebody off, that's what this door is doing.
Love it.
And it just like swings open, and there's the blade like sitting there, like kind of vibrating, like it's excited to be like murdery. And then I just take it, and it's purple and glowy. Looks like a purpley, hellfire-y red.
Nice. And what sort of blade is it?
It's a short sword.
Awesome. Yeah, you would just see Chastity reach leisurely into this extra dimensional space and pull out this like gleaming blade. We see the steam from the bath kind of eddy around it, as if it's even hotter than the steam around it. So it's your action to summon a blade. Yeah, you can go ahead and give me an Arcana check to see if you know anything about this creature.
Okay. And since I pulled her out of the water, was I closer, or is it?
Oh yeah, you were probably standing right next to her as well. Go ahead and move yourself there. Sorry, we did establish that earlier.
That's okay. Oh, I got a 20.
Nice. Seeing it up close, while the creature is made of water, you don't necessarily think it's an elemental.
I don't think it's an elemental.
You don't. You're not 100% sure exactly what it is, but there's sort of like a smell and a look about it that don't speak of extraplanar influence. You would guess that this creature was created by magic. And the face that it formed when it was sort of like roaring at you and Muhaka, albeit silently, was distinctly humanoid, which is pretty unusual for any sort of elemental creature. They're usually very non-humanoid looking.
It doesn't look like her mother's face by any chance, does it?
No, it's fairly amorphous, but definitively humanoid. If anyone is curious for looking at the creature, I did drop a picture of it into the Twitch chat. I can also throw it in Roll20.
Cool. I guess that's my turn.
Yes. All right. Yeah, Chastity reaches out,
Ew,
pulls
this
out
thing
the blade.
is disgusting.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah, somehow worse than I pictured.
Wait, wait. Sorry, was it, since I rolled a 20, do I think that it's like, and I saw Petra flinch, like, do I think hitting this is a bad idea, or I should just hit it harder, faster?
Well, I will tell you exactly what's going to happen. I think you see it absorb, that Petra absorbs part of the blow that Muhaka intended for it. You're definitely close enough, and then you're also close enough to see exactly what happens next, because it is Petra's turn.
Okay.
And so you see her kind of struggling to break free of the creature, and she can't breathe, it seems like, with this thing wrapped around her.
What?
Oof. And you see it beginning to pull, like it's going like basically like down her throat, and then you begin to see something like coming out, sort of something vital. You've seen something similar to this using your blade, and you see the exact moment when her eyes roll back in her head and she goes unconscious.
I've seen this with my blade. They sent her to hell. It sent her to hell? Her soul's gone?
It is draining some measure of her vital essence, is what you would take that to mean.
Okay, I tell the team.
Yeah, and you can see up close and personal that it is on the verge of killing her.
Ooh.
Okay. Heal her.
He's not good, guys.
She's gonna die.
I can't do all the work around here. I'm trying.
You're the bard, so I don't.
All right. You guys then hear a scream from the servant who is still at the side of the room, and you can kind of see coming through the swirling, eddying mist a crowd of figures. Moving these things into position. And they all just sort of come buzzing up towards you. They have to use their whole movement to get to you. But you can see manifesting out of the smoke, or rather the steam, coming off of here, little tiny winged figures, very sharp, angular heads, very crystalline almost in shape, but seemingly made of condensed steam. And you can see tiny glowing points within them as though they are animated by some sort of force. Chastity, I think, from having just looked for elemental creatures, these definitely are. And they're sort of buzzing toward all of you with malicious intent. It does take their whole turn just to move up to you, however. And from the other side, you see more beginning to move in.
Okay. Okay.
Again, they use their whole turn to get over there.
Wow. That's a lot.
They're little tiny
Seem like they're-
steamy boys.
Jerks. Seem like jerks.
Yep.
Well, Little Tiny Steamy Boys was one of Corvell and Zozo's favorite bands back in the day.
Yes.
Of course.
All right.
Shred so much, so good.
And with that, we are back at the top of the initiative order with Muhaka.
Okay. Does it look like I could say try to grab this thing or separate it from Petra
You could certainly
forcefully?
try.
I will try to do that.
Okay.
And have it latch onto my body if I have to.
Yeah,
If
go
it makes
ahead
things
and
easier.
make a grapple check. An athletics check.
You're so funny.
Godspeed.
We all,
This is
It is going
We
to
all have
make
good
an
strength, right?
acrobatics check.
Yes.
you mean the acrobatics check.
Here's what I'll say. Actually, I have a question for you. Are you just trying to remove it from her, or are you trying to, like, contain it? Because I think actually you just need to... Yeah, never mind. It's not actually a grapple check. You just need to make an athletics check. Sorry. I had to look back over this stat block. Same thing for you, but different effect.
It doesn't make too much of a difference, but I will try. That's an 11.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're just not able to get good purchase on this thing. When you put your hand on it, it sort of flows away from that area, but is still very much around her. Although you do see that sort of sinuous neck come back up, looking at you like...
I wonder if I need to do this in a different way and try to more tempt it back to me, since she's kind of almost deadish. Alright, well, that was a bust. As a bonus action, I will cast Healing Word on Petra.
Nice.
Looks like we got a healer after all, Belief.
Here's 4 hit points.
4 hit points. Yeah, I think probably what happens is you reach in and pull it off of the area of her mouth, and speak your healing word, and you all hear her kind of inhale deeply as this thing, you wrench a little bit of it away.
I don't want to be here anymore, so I'm going to drag Petra through the water past all these things that I don't like.
Okay. You will incur attacks of opportunity from anything that is adjacent to you.
That's fine. I just need to get us out of
All right.
back.
You can move
towards
half
these
your
guys.
movement speed, dragging and another creature.
Yeah, that's about as far as I needed to get her, like over here.
Okay.
That's smart.
You will take an attack of opportunity from this creature right here, but I think not the other ones. So... no, it kind of lashes out at you, but misses entirely. I think, again, you kind of, like, push off the bottom and sort of drag Petra backward a lot faster than it was expecting. And it swings wide with little misty claws over the top of your head. Okay.
Yeah, this thing is... Drag this thing off of her! Muhaka will yell at these two who are much stronger than she is.
Yeah,
She's not meant for dragging and pulling.
Belief, Zozo, you see Muhaka come sort of furiously backpedaling out of the water, dragging Petra with this thing still sort of wrapping around her as she's struggling to get breath back into her body.
I can only keep her alive for so long.
Belief, you're up first.
Okay. So I am going to. Yeah. All right. Very first thing is I will use a bonus action to use the rally ability. Of course, seeing as Belief is sort of a little bit of a wizard nowadays, that actually is that's more magical than it used to be. So he sort of like sub-vocalizes the word Clypeus, and a like sort of sharp-looking like blackish film kind of wraps around Petra's upper body to try to force the thing that's on her off a little bit. Get a couple attempts from that.
Okay, temp HP, sounds good.
Yeah, so let's make that specifically. Yeah, it's that. 11 of them.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, maximum efficacy. And then I look to Zozo. Specifically, I look to Zozo's arms. And I say, help. I'm going to help me get it. Yeah. Sorry, garbling on words there. I will help you get it off her, and I will hop down into the water, right there. Undoubtedly incurring some sort of attack of opportunity.
Yes, indeed.
No, that's fine.
So
I rolled a 20 to hit ya.
Yes.
All right.
Maybe they don't hurt so badly.
I mean, I don't know. The
Okay.
inverse ninja principle would suggest they don't.
You
but,
take 2 points of slashing damage and 1 point of fire damage.
You divided that in half for
I
me.
did, yes. I know you're a tiefling and I know you have resistance to fire damage. Don't worry.
Yes, quite so. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I catch a tiny slash as I hop down into the water, barely notice. Yeah, my artificial leg kind of doesn't behave great in water. It kind of clunks heavily in the bottom of the pool, and I stabilize myself with my staff a little bit. And I'm actually going to use my action to, well, either I'll help preemptively Zozo's attempt to get her out of there, or I'll hold an action to help if Zozo pulls her out, whichever makes more mechanical sense.
Yeah, you're taking the. Why don't we put it this way? You can take the help action to generally try and help whoever is going to get Petra out of this situation.
That'll work for me.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. All right, yeah, you kind of magically fortify her and kind of rush over to try and assist liberating her from the influence of this creature.
Yeah. Also, we kind of forgot about him last time, but presumably there is a either room.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I lost your audio.
No worries. I said we kind of forgot about him last round, but presumably there's a rather irritating this room too.
Oh, yes. Let me put him on the map for you.
Thank you.
Oh, rather
So
irritated.
rather-
What?
Raven, proof
Oh,
specifically.
Raven. Yes, proof. Got it. Yes.
Oh, wait, proof.
Yeah.
You've grown.
Look,
Caw-caw!
they all come in at that size by default. He's a big boy.
Raven Prime, everyone.
Wait, what? Oh, he's jumbo.
There we go.
Yeah, he's like,
Okay, there we go.
why, Raven, you're so big?
Okay.
Dust she quotes.
Yeah. So, and let's see. I don't have control over him. at the
I
moment,
got
but
it. I got it.
No worries.
Sorry.
It's alright.
Inevitably,
Anyway.
I forget to do things. Okay. Yeah. Do
All
as you
good.
will with the fly boy.
Okay. All I was gonna tell him telepathically, as I'm telling Zozo to help me out here. I telepathically tell Proof, stay back from these things. Fly around the room and make sure that there aren't more like coming out of the steam ducts or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. You
so
can
he's
have
just gonna,
Proof
like-
make an investigation check.
Fair enough. Let's see here. Are you sure that's not perception?
I'm quite sure.
Fair enough. How smart are ravens? In real life, very smart. In D&D,
I think
not.
it's like a -2 or a -3 for intelligence.
What? Are you serious?
No, riddle me. Actually, it's -4.
What? They're dumb?
lied.
That's dumb.
They are smarter than most other animals, but not especially smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
My
lot of
cousin
animals are
was smarter
-5.
than that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe just not as smart as people.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, not bad for a raven. That's actually 13.
You're
13.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think he flies low, kind of looking around, and doesn't see any further disturbances in this team that strike him as unnatural. So for the moment, it doesn't look like there are any more of those things coming.
Okay. Fair enough. That's all I asked for.
All right. Zozo Ba'ab, it is your turn.
Okay, so I think Zozo Ba'ab has certainly heard the call and is going to try and wade in and pull this thing off of Petra. He's going to hold on to his shield to try to kind of protect the people in the immediate vicinity in case these little misty boys get cuckoo.
Sounds good. All right, so you run in there to try and pull it off of Petra. Go ahead and make
Yep.
an athletics check. You have advantage on this because Belief is assisting you.
Okay. Sec. Okay, that is pretty good. 24.
Oh, hell yeah.
Valhalla!
Yeah.
Didn't even need that advantage.
You you reach in and pull the what someone in chat has very aptly described as an evil gummy worm directly off of
fair.
Petra.
That's
You
fair.
kind of
Yeah.
it rears off to kind of hiss at Muhaka again, and you grab it and pull, and just the whole thing kind of off of Petra.
Never make that noise again.
Yeah. Zozo said, "Get off, lady! Get up, nice lady!" And he's gonna, as he pulls.
All right. I believe it is your action to grapple like that. So do you have a bonus action you would like to take?
Can I take the time to touch her and bless her, or am I too occupied with ye old evil gummy worm? Did I
Bless
fling
her.
it to the side yet?
No, you have, I think, pulled it off for the time being. Its turn is next, so we're gonna kind of flow the action there.
Okay.
Actually, technically, I guess, yeah, you did sort of pull it off and drop it into the water, and what you have noticed is it vanishes immediately. It's the transparency of its body renders it invisible in water.
God damn it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it just
That's
vanishes
lovely.
to sight, but
Yes.
not necessarily vanishes
Correct.
in the real world.
You
Okay.
can know you don't have a good track on its location using sight.
Oh dear. It's
but-
oh dear.
Is
So
there
then
a...
I would like to try and haul her further out of the water then.
Yeah,
Is-
definitely. You can use your remaining movement to do
Lift her up.
that.
Yeah.
You're very strong, so yeah, I think probably just pushing her back, straight back is going to be the kind of pull it off and then football tackle her essentially out of the swimming
Oh
pool.
goodness.
Good. Yeah, if I could pick her up with just one arm and
Yeah.
just run her out, that would be
out.
great.
Easy enough. Yeah. I think you still have 15 feet of movement, so you could move her, I think, 10 feet.
She's already
Okay.
had a rough night, man. Be
Yeah.
gentle.
You could probably 10, 15 feet.
Okay. Yeah. And you carry Petra with you. Da-da-da-da. Okay. As you go, you are going to incur an attack of opportunity from this thing.
Okay.
So actually what I need you to do before you complete your movement is make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Oh my.
I
Oh,
have faith
I'm
in
not
you.
so good with this, but we're going to try.
I have faith in you.
Thank you.
Zozo's the
Oh.
greatest. Oh.
That was a 4.
All right, so here's what happens, Zozo.
Well,
I think you manage to push Petra out, but your legs get wrapped up by something under the water, and you all watch as Zozo goes under,
No.
tripping, and you see Zozo start to claw at their face,
Horrible.
as though something is wrapping around it. Yes, so it hits you with that on the attack of opportunity. Zozo, you are considered grappled, which means you would be able to take no further movement
Okay.
as well. But I'll let you push Petra, essentially. You're quite strong.
Okay.
All right, for its turn. One sec. I gotta look something up here. I think I would know this.
I couldn't. That was my bonus action, right?
Uh,
The pulling Petra out. I just wanted to make sure.
yeah, I think so. Was there
Okay.
something else you would have preferred to do with it?
Misty step, but only knowing that something was going to come for me. So if not, I'd rather have Lady Petra out.
You know what? No. Here's what I'll say. You can absolutely Misty Step right as you're falling under the water. It's getting into you. I just need you because the effect of its grapple thing is that you can't breathe, which you need to do to cast a spell.
Okay.
I just want you to roll a spellcasting check to see if you can get the spell out before it is able to sort of wrap around you. Yeah, I love
Okay.
this. I love it.
Hold on one
So
sec.
yeah, just roll and add your spellcasting ability
My-
modifier, which is charisma.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I just have to switch screens.
No problem.
16.
Yes. Where would you like to Misty Step to?
Okay, so I would like to Misty Step the hell out of that pool. And let's see. Did I see where the thing went?
No. You didn't see where it went, although you felt it kind of catch at your legs. You assume it was that.
So I assume it was that. Okay, so I think I'm going to come out. I don't want to go too far from the action, but I'm going to Misty Step to the side of the pool.
Yeah,
about
place
20
yourself-
about 20 feet.
Place yourself wherever you would like to be.
Okay. Right here. Actually, that's too far. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. All right. Well,
Okay.
that
Oh,
changes.
and my Misty Step, by the way,
Yes,
I just
please.
want you to know that 4 identically dressed, gorgeous men come down. They're all have mahogany skin and they're wearing white sequin tuxedos and they're dancing in perfect unison. And they sing Misty Night all in unison. And that's when I poof vanish in the pool and reappear on the other side.
Love it.
So that's Zozo's Misty Step.
Love it. All right. Well, in that case, just used its reaction, but now it's its turn. So I
Come
need
on, bring it. You know it's mad at Muhaka. Bring it.
belief
No!
to make a dexterity saving throw.
No.
do you now?
I do now.
Oh,
No.
joy. Time to get with the times. What is my dex save? Oh, it's that. Natural 20.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, you feel something brush up against your legs, and I think you're still close enough to the edge of the pool that you sort of kind of dive backward and pull your legs up out of the water in time. To just see this sort of the thing come up out after you, but just miss and dodge back into the water.
Come on to you, evil gummy worm.
And away. And where it goes, nobody knows. All right, Corvell, it is your turn.
Yeah, so I think Corvell like leapt into the water, but by the time he like came up in the middle, so much stuff was happening around him, and he failed miserably on his perception roll. So I think he's just very confused, like trying to figure out what the hell is going on at all. There's a lot of splashing happening, but I think probably the closest thing he would see is these sort of flying elemental creatures, and probably also Chastity, since she's in the direction that he is sort of leaping and swimming in. And so I think he would use his cunning action to disengage from these guys beside him, sort of dive back under the water, and come leaping up over here, trying to attack this this ice guy.
Absolutely.
Or not ice guy, water vapor guy, whatever it is. So let me try to do that. 23?
Oh yeah.
Great.
And that is a sneak attack, because it is adjacent
Awesome.
to your ally.
Let me adjust my, let me not roll my sneak attack at d8s like I was before. Okay, so 18.
Ooh, awesome. Yeah, you come up, stab this thing straight in its heart, and it poofs out of existence.
Aw.
And so I say, Chastity, what happens?
What happened? You took my kill. I wanted to kill it.
Before that.
Oh,
Well, at least
I don't know. I've been standing here, and then this creature came and attacked Petra. I know as much as you do. I was just momentarily enjoying my bath, and I was getting to a really, getting a good knot out, and then this thing came and disturbed me, and frankly, I find it quite rude.
So, and then I think at that point, Corvell, begins, looking around in the water, and he's like, wait, where did it go? And that's
Didn't you just kill it? Wait, Liza, he killed it, right?
He killed one. There's a bunch.
I didn't kill the
Oh,
strangled
I thought
boy.
he killed the monster.
No.
No. I killed one of the little fly guys. I
Correct.
did not kill the monster.
Oh, excellent.
And actually, because Reed is very smart and knows the rules of this game better than I do, I actually need both Corvell and Chastity to make dexterity saving throws.
Sorry.
Yeah, Corvell, you
Reed,
stabbed
you're
this
looking
thing
at
and it
outside.
kind of compressed really tiny into this little spark while you guys were having this conversation, and then at this moment it explodes.
13.
All right, you both succeed.
Oh, I got 24. Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah, so you managed to dive under the water and avoid the scorching heat from the explosion of this tiny creature.
I love that. I'm just viewing this whole fight, for Corvell at least, as half above water, half below.
It's very dynamic.
Every fight
Maybe
for
not for
Corvell, though?
Well,
So
A valid
far.
point. A valid point.
For
Chastity,
Corvell, this is fountains of Golshan for sure.
Chastity, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, so where did I see this creepy gummy worm go last?
The last time you saw it, it was here.
Okay, and I think it's made of magic.
You think it was created by magic?
So, technical question. Would dispel magic discreate it?
Probably
Uncreate it?
not.
Okay, so I'm not gonna waste a spell on that. Yeah, I guess I'm going to kill this thing. here. I'm gonna attack it and then move towards the creepy monster.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll against the creature next to you.
I'm wondering how smart it is to blow up this thing that I know is directly next to me.
It's fine.
Actually, I'm going not to hit the one next to me. I'm going to hit this guy. I'm going to do an Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
And I'm going to do one beam here, and if it doesn't kill it, I'll save the other beam for the other guy.
Okay. Roll your Eldritch Blast.
Okay. 20. Okay. 19.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Blast.
Yeah. Blast it. Oops. 14. No.
14 points of damage.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's right. Yeah.
It's still barely up.
Oh, that's annoying. Okay, I'll hit it again.
I like to imagine Chastity being like, well, that's annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely said that. She was
That
like,
tracks.
24.
24, sorry. I thought you said 44. I'm like, what? Yes, that definitely hits.
Powerful. I don't know if you guys know this.
Mm-hmm.
The more annoyed I get. No, that's not what I meant to roll.
Nope.
That's okay. Your minimum damage would kill it, so.
Okay, I kill it with 23 points.
And
damage.
no
Oh,
one is within 5 feet, so you're good. It is kablamo.
Yeah. And then I think that's all I'm gonna do. Dun.
Alrighty, it is the end of your turn. We see Petra kind of snatch up like a towel from behind her and like hold it around her, so kind of like going backwards, and you hear her kind of saying like calling for the guards and basically like running and trying to defend herself.
Looks like she's trying to defend her modesty.
Among other things, yes.
I mean,
Yeah, but we already
do
see the
both.
proof.
Priorities, Chastity.
Wrong priorities, belief. Life is better than modesty.
Yes, actually, I'm trying to agree with you.
you have seen one, you have seen them all. It's all flesh.
That's not true.
Hmm.
They're unique and different and wonderful.
All right. Muhaka, you are going to get
Wait,
2
what?
attacks.
I'm with Muhaka on this one.
The first one is a natural
I hate
20,
you so much.
and the second one is a 19. Okay.
Well,
What?
Sorry.
thank you.
Why
Well,
am I always the one that you crit
I'm
on?
sorry. All right.
It's me, I'm not the tank.
From the first strike, you take 9 points of slashing and fire damage.
Ow!
And then,
I take 1 point grand total.
okay,
Thank you,
and from the
10 HP.
second strike, you take 6 points of slashing and fire damage. Sorry. Belief. Doesn't.
I lose concentration on my spell.
No!
no. Okay, sorry, what?
What spell were you concentrating on? Bear's Endurance?
Enhance ability
Yeah.
perception, which I was going to use to try to spot this thing.
Oh,
Thanks a lot.
no. Sorry.
Why?
You were the
That's fine.
closest.
Whatever.
Belief, does an 18 hit you?
It would, but I haven't used my reaction yet.
Ah.
Yeah, so I use Arcane Deflection. I just sort of spike my staff at it, and some more of that sort of spiky black energy briefly wards it off for me. My AC goes up by 2, which is 19.
Awesome. Yes, because you are still wearing all your armor.
That also is true.
All right, Zozo, we got a 19 and a 6. I assume the 19 hits you?
Yes, that 19's gonna hit me.
Okie dokie. In that case, you will take 5 points of damage.
Alrighty.
Orvel, you are going to get 2 hits as well. The first one is a 14, which I think is going to miss you.
No, it'll hit me. I don't have my armor.
Yeah, but don't you get to add your charisma to your armor class or something crazy like that? Or no, it's your initiative, that's right.
Initiative, not
Okay.
AC.
All right, so you get 2 hits.
Yeah, they'll hit me.
Okay, the first one is 6 points of damage,
Okay.
and the second one is another 6.
Don't
Okay.
forget your temp HPs.
Yep.
And then
Gotcha.
Chastity. An 18 to hit you.
Yeah, it hits.
Okay. So the second d4 here will be the fire damage. So you take 3 points of damage. All of you are just sort of blinded as these tiny steam creatures flock around you, tearing into you with tiny claws, made of sort of super condensed, superheated air.
Ugh.
The furrows that they leave don't even have a chance to bleed. They're instantly sort of cauterized by the steam that forms these creatures.
I am so glad not to have skin.
That was where we all made our first mistake. Yeah. you're
Having
right.
skin, it's a real
True.
drawback.
Having skin was your first mistake.
It's a real design flaw when you think about it.
Oh, somebody clip that, please.
That's right, just get rid of it.
Okay. Muhaka, the skinless wonder, it's your turn.
Yeah. See, you're the sensible one here.
The only sensible one here. Okay. Oof. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. First, my magnificent, wondrous mantle of inspiration.
Nice.
Yes.
And
Can you describe that for us again? It's been a while.
sorry. What did you say? I missed it.
Can you describe your mantle of inspiration for us?
Yeah. It's like magic just kind of crawls all around her, and just the light crawls, moves, and for a moment, her face, which is, a blank mask with nothing, for a moment you imagine that it actually has human features and it can blink and smile. It's like an actual face, the most beautiful face you have ever seen for whoever is looking at it. Doesn't matter, like, everybody sees something different. It's just what appeals to you the most, which I can't say. She might be even a wall of the most beautiful wall of painting that Zozo has ever seen.
All right. So who sees this wondrous wonder in Muhaka's face? Who are you giving your mantle of inspiration to?
Oh, damn, I can't give it to myself. That's unfortunate. I
Can
will
you
give
not?
it to Belief.
I don't think so, no.
No, I cannot.
Shame.
It's true. I'm very selfless that way. Belief, Corvel, and Zozo.
All right. So you guys each get temporary hit points and can
Equals
move
to 8.
move up
as a
to your
reaction.
speed without provoking attacks of opportunity as a reaction. Belief, unfortunately, you've already used your reaction, but the rest of you can.
All of you and your reactions.
Right this second.
I'm sorry, Chastity. Unfortunately, you weren't included in this effect.
No.
Sorry.
Not this time, sorry.
That would still trigger attacks of opportunity.
It would
and stuff,
not.
though, right?
Nope.
No.
Oh, it wouldn't. Okay. Great.
Not with me. And then, as an action... is it worth trying to spot this thing?
That's up to you.
Very true.
It is true, it is up to me. Well, it's going to attack anyway, so I am going to take the dodge action.
Okay, yeah. We see Muhaka sort of looking
She's
around,
like
taking her guard
crouches.
up. Yeah. Excellent.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Corval comes. I like to picture swimming once again. Corval, you were right here, yes?
Yes. Sorry. Did we get a full movement?
Yes, you can move up to your speed without provoking attacks of
Okay.
opportunity. That's correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Is it like half for water or anything?
You guys are, especially if you're not wearing armor, you can swim. It's fine. It's not like there's a current
Okay.
or anything. It's not that hard.
Okay.
And it's not very deep, so, you know. All right. Muhaka, that's the end of your turn? Or would you like to move?
Yeah, I suppose I can move and get out of the water. She will sort of slide up with her bum, just like hop up and pull her legs out of the water, but not really disengage from these guys per se.
Just so you know, since you did take the dodge action, if they were to take attacks of opportunity against you, they would be at disadvantage.
I know.
Okay, just pointing that out. All right.
I
Yeah,
know.
Corval hops out, and Muhaka's kind of like, yeah, good idea, and hops out as well.
I know.
Believe.
I don't want them to reconvene on somebody else when I'm too busy getting ready for them to hit me.
Fair enough. It's all you, my man.
Yeah, sorry, just doing some brief geometry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move. Thing. Not enough. Quick question. What has I believe that's Zareen up there?
Yes, it is.
Has she just been like standing frozen this entire time, like dithering?
I
mean,
forgot to put her in the initiative order, so yes.
Fair enough.
Aww.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just wondering if
I think maybe she fainted.
Sounds good.
it seems.
I mean, she got dropped to 0, so can't blame her.
No, that's Zareen, the dragonborn.
Yes,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe she has. I think what she does is she has her pitcher of water that she was using to like pour over Petra's head, and is just sort of like flinging it ineffectually at the steam things. Like, shoo.
Yeah.
Oh, she must be saying shoo. I hope she's like really trying to shoo them.
Please.
Yes,
shoot.
that's exactly what she is
Draconic.
doing.
That's amazing.
We hear her roaring in like draconic, but actually all she's saying is shoo.
Okay. All right. So.
Let me add her to the initiative order actually, so I
Okay.
stop forgetting about her.
Yeah. All right. I have. Wait. How far is she? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. That could work. 1. Dodge that and then move.
What you gonna do here,
Interesting.
Reed?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I think the thing to do here is, I'm going to take a leaf from Muhaka's book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the dodge action.
Sounds good.
And I'm going to clamber myself out of the water. Quick question. Are these pillars? They look like pillars.
They are pillars.
Great. Presumably they are sight blocking pillars.
They are.
Great. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Presumably the water is difficult terrain.
No, I'm not counting it as.
Oh.
Oh, good.
Although
All
you're
right.
wearing armor, so
Yeah, well, I
and
have a
shoes
bad
and
leg.
stuff.
This
Yeah.
is-
So
this
yeah,
is
for
awkward.
you it probably is.
Okay, so I have 5 squares of movement, so that should be enough to get me to there, though.
All
Correct?
right. It is going to provoke 3 attacks of opportunity.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But I'm
With disadvantage.
Wait, I should have just taken the disengage action. What was I doing?
That's fine. You can just do
I'm
that.
gonna dodge all these dudes.
Eh.
That's fine. We can retcon that. It makes no difference. So yeah.
Yeah, because I wasn't trying to actually trying to get.
Yeah. Okay. You disengage, move over there, and you still have a
Perfect.
bonus action.
I do still have a bonus action. I will use a bonus action for another rally.
Okay.
Muhaka, because they cannot use their sweet bard powers on themselves.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So let me
You guys are
roll
like
that for
back to
you.
back on this column. I love it.
Yeah, no. we fight as one. Okay.
we may not talk much, but we fight well.
Yeah, we'll remember the
Together.
old ways. As I sort of passed you in the water, again, I just sort of like sort of gesture towards you, and you get that same sort of like translucent, like spiky black, like film around you. So you're gonna get 10 temporary hit points from that.
Sweet.
And then I'm gonna actually position to do. I'll try a moment.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of dive past these creatures, bolster Muhaka, and kind of pull yourself up on the far side of this column. Sounds good.
And I'm going to just have Proof, because I believe he's up next. I'm going to just have him not do anything specific this turn. I'm going to have him just kind of move to here and mainly just kind of start like cawing and almost like gesturing at Zareen to try to get her attention.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, kind of come this way.
Yeah, kind of do a flyby and buffet her on the top of the head or something.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just like wheeling like around,
Sounds
or
good.
like, you know, like calling at her. And actually, and he's just like this way.
Okay. Sounds good. She will take note of that on her turn. Zozo, it is your turn.
Okay, so Zozo has a little steamy boy right nearby, so I think he's gonna this guy and this
Yeah.
bro. So he's gonna take a whack at the one that's on land with his good old sword.
Sounds good.
And so okay, 23.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And okay. I think we switched swords, correct?
Oh,
Or
yes. I think
long
you have a
sword.
long sword now, yeah.
Yes, I have a long sword. So sorry, that's different than my usual.
And you're
damage
wielding it
from
with
my
one
older
hand, so it's 1d8.
Correct. Okay.
We still love you, Zozo.
I love you. And that is a 1.
Plus your strength modifier,
Oh, right.
which is, I think, probably a 4.
Yes. Dude. I just rolled again.
That's fine. We'll consider that the damage. Okay.
Oh, 6.
Yes. Yeah, you take
Okay.
one good whack out of it.
All right.
But it is still standing.
For my bonus action, can I whack it again?
You have 2 attacks, so
that's
you
right,
can
I
just
have
whack
2.
it with your second attack.
So I'm going to go for it. That was a 10.
That hits.
Okay.
It's made of steam. It doesn't really have
That's
any
right.
armor.
Not so much with the armor. Okay. I roll for damage, and that is 10.
Nice.
What
Another
open?
big whack out of it, and yeah, it is
Oh dear.
Kaputski. So I do need you to make a dexterity saving throw
Okay.
as it explodes. Again, it sort of sucks into itself, and then an outward concussive blast of hot air.
It had to be done. Okay, that's a 6.
Okay, that is not going to be a success. So you will take. Ooh, allow me to roll correctly. 7 points of fire damage. As the
Okay.
blast of hot air kind of scorches. You're sort of soaking wet from being in the pool, and all the fur around your face is just suddenly like puff dried.
Like in
Good
Beauty and the
news.
Beast.
Good news. It takes off all but one of your temporary hit points that I gave you.
Yes. Yes, that's really good. I'm not doing too horribly.
Yeah, that's why it just dries your hair nice.
Just, yeah. I love that. I love
There's
a
a
good blow dry.
shimmering. There's a shimmering feel that just. There's a
Gravel's
shimmering
becoming
field.
more and more convinced this is just like a part of the like Golshan beauty regimen. It was like an exfoliation and now like a hair drying, like
Aggressive blow dry.
a blowout, right? Yeah, a Golshan blowout.
I feel like, yeah, Zozo was shocked, but then he was like, oh, Zozo feel nice.
Love it. All right.
Okay.
There is one person left in the water. Chastity.
Sorry there.
Well, Chastity's in there too.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
The shade of it all.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
I really hope you have Misty Step.
I do have Misty Step. I do. Does a 13 make it?
It does not. I'm sorry.
Can I Misty Step?
You are grappled and restrained and cannot breathe. So I need you to make a charisma check to try and Misty Step. You'll
I'm
have to do
good
that
at
on
that.
your turn, though.
Yeah.
I'm
You can't
sorry.
as a reaction.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do it as a reaction. I think you guys all see
Okay.
Chastity sort of kind of freeze in place as something starts flowing up her from under the water.
I got a natural 20 on my charisma check because that's how it should be.
Oh, sorry, Nikki, you need to wait until your turn to roll that.
Oh, I thought you said roll it now.
No,
because
no,
Damn it.
sorry.
Does that count?
Well, you're not pulled under the water, so you won't have as hard of a time. We will come back to it on your turn, though.
Okay.
All right, but that is the end of that creature's turn. So, Corvel, it is your turn.
Okay. So, Corvel has leaped out of the water. He's currently trying to like keep this water vapor monster at bay with his rapier, and he like turns over his shoulder and he says, "Lady Petra, are you okay?"
No, what happened? What is the thing?
It's like, and then Corvel turns to Muhaka and he's like, "Muhaka, what is it?" and then
Less chit chat, more stab, please.
Then I'll try to attack the figure problem. Ooh, so that was an 8 on the attack.
Oh my god.
Ooh, that
But-
misses, I'm afraid.
I will use
Okay,
to
sounds
reroll.
good.
Do it, please.
This doesn't work for me anytime I use it, but let's see if it works.
You're
this
fine.
time. A 19.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
See, this time you weren't wearing pants. I feel like
It's true.
That's that.
My lucky charm is to not wear pants. That is
Oh my
actually.
god.
All right, so,
Okay, so 19 for 15 damage.
all right, it is barely hanging on.
No.
Okay.
Any bonus
I
action?
think that's what I do. I think I just want to stay right here because I want to try to stay between it and Lady Petra.
All right, sounds good. Zareen, on her turn, is going to run away, following proof,
Run away.
and hop out of the pool over here, as instructed. Okay. Chastity, it is your turn. At the top of your turn, before you Misty Step out, if that is still what you would like to do, you feel the thing sort of clawing its way into your throat.
Ew, get out of here. I did not consent.
I know, this monster does not...
Consent was
That's one of the many reasons it's a monster, is it doesn't take that very seriously. So, unfortunately, at the top of your turn, because this creature has you grappled, you take... Ooh, 22 points of necrotic damage.
Holy. Okay.
that's less than ideal.
You have some 10 HP left. You're fine.
Ouch. Okay.
However,
Well,
you were able to get that last breath in right as it was grappling you, so you have the breath to Misty Step out, if that's what you'd like to
Fuck yeah, that's what I want to do.
Alright, where would you like to Misty Step to?
Away. Towards the group.
Okay, yeah, just put yourself anywhere that's 30 feet away from your current location.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I think
That's what I say when I
Muhaka.
materialize. I materialize and I just look at Belief and I go, fuck that!
And you can see now that they're standing right next to each other, both Chastity and Petra have signs of this creature's attack, including a little bit of like blood dribbling from the corner of the mouth. And you see just a tiny flash of red, Muhaka, as the creature sinks back under the water now that its prey is gone.
Oh, that's great.
Yay.
Can you see it in the water?
Technically,
Like, can you see the red?
you can't see it at the moment. You know where it was last, which is right here. It might be easier to see now that it's more full of blood.
That's what I was asking, yeah. It's a leech. It's a magic leech.
Basically.
Ew.
You still have your action, Chastity. Is there anything you'd like to do? And your movement.
Yeah, I want to, Eldritch Blast where that fucker is.
Okay.
Was.
If you're trying to hit it, you are going to have disadvantage because it is invisible. But you know where it last was, so you can attempt to attack it.
Yeah.
And might have to move a little bit too as a pillar.
Yeah, you basically just have to run up next to your brother here.
Okay, then I had Misty Step here, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you'll be fine. So roll your Eldritch Blast to hit with disadvantage.
Yep. I got 2 20s. Not natural, but they're both 20.
Even with the full cover that it has from the water, that's still enough to hit.
Fuck yeah. And I'm gonna throw both blasts right at it.
Okay, so
And
that's
I'm
the
gonna-
first hit because it was with disadvantage.
Oh yeah.
So roll damage for the first one.
Someday I'll learn these rules for a warlock.
No worries.
$12.
Oof, nice. All right, and roll to hit for the second hit.
14.
Unfortunately, with the cover of the water, you can't tell if the second one hit, and you think probably it didn't.
Bummer.
Yeah, you
I'm
kind of
just
see it
gonna
disperse into the water. I'm not sure if it, you know, the first time you kind of feel the impact and the water splashes back a little bit, and the second time, it's harder to tell.
Okay, so I look at Belief and I'm just like, what the fuck is this thing? Did you see it attack me? I don't like getting hit. Will you kill it? And then that's the end of my turn.
Storm of words.
All right. It is Petra's turn. She's going to step up and she has retrieved from in her things that she just picked up a dagger and is going to, as you're thrusting forward, Corvell, to stab this thing, kind of try and throw the dagger over your shoulder.
She
Go
has
ahead,
brought
Lady Petra.
inspiration.
Yes, I
Just
know.
saying.
What?
She does actually.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about that.
We're gonna
She
see.
better.
I think she's gonna go ahead and add it here. It's 1d8.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm really glad I added the inspiration. It wouldn't have hit otherwise. That's an 11 to hit. So to the one in front of you, Corvell, she does some damage.
Yeah, blow it up in his face.
And it does exactly that. Corvell, Muhaka, I need you to make dexterity saving throws as Petra kind of chucks this dagger and then is like, oh crap.
Ooh.
I got 12.
Look, I don't care. Bardic inspiration, let her hit. This is all I care about.
Hey, yeah.
Her victory is my victory and my pain.
What?
But yeah, I got a 12.
I got a 13.
You both succeed, so you're fine. You've
Oh,
seen it
wow.
enough times that you're like, oh, I know it's coming, and as it compresses, you just lean back far enough out of the way. Yeah, that's another one down. Awesome. Okay, that was Petra's turn.
Another one bites the dust.
Alrighty.
Another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust.
That's right. That's exactly it, my friends. Oh, sorry, Zozo. Didn't mean to grab you there.
Personal space.
Oh, touch.
Bad touch, no.
Get out of my square.
No.
They're small creatures. They occupy squares. All right, so there's going to be some attacks. It's going to be 2 on belief. First one definitely misses with a 6. Both miss. 1 on Muhaka. Misses.
Disadvantage, but doesn't matter.
1 on Corvell. Misses. These have been terrible. 6, 9, 5. 2 on Zozo.
I'll take
6.
it.
12. I think they're all a little intimidated at this point by the number of their colleagues that you have dispatched and are just being completely ineffectual. I was rolling
Might
garbage.
as well just run.
Look, maybe they can't. All right, that is the end of their turn.
You can't run.
Muhaka, it is your turn.
Okie dokies. I am going to start. Muhaka takes her hand and she whispers into it, and it's the same words she has always used when she casts Dissonant Whispers, but she holds her hand as she readies an action to cast it as a reaction when that thing shows up, because I know it's gonna show up somewhere here.
Okay, sounds good. You're holding your action for the appearance of the creature. Belief. What would you like to do?
Question about the terrain.
I cast it at 3rd level, just so.
Okay. Sounds
Serious
good.
Business. Serious
Business.
All right. Quick question about this pool. Does it have a drain?
Most likely, yes.
A visible drain?
You would need to take the search action to find out.
Okay. Well, actually, before I waste any time on that, can I'd like to do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether this takes an action or not, I will bend to your will. Seeing as Petra has thrown her dagger, which I'm pretty sure was her only one last time I checked, I pull my short sword and drop it at my feet and kick it towards her.
Yeah, I'll even say you can just sort of throw it and she catches it out of the air.
Okay, if she's that badass, I allow it.
You've been training her to fight with a weapon. This is not a maneuver that's new to the two of you.
All right, cool. I wasn't sure if I could make that assumption. All right,
Sure.
very good. So yeah, I toss it to her, and I call back to the wall, and make her way to the door as soon as it's safe. We'll hold these off. And then I actually will. I will take the investigation action just to see if I can spot the drains in this pool, and if I assume it has at least.
Sure, make a perception check.
I'm so good at that. I should have invested in better glasses. Yeah, 11.
You don't see anything from where you are, but you do have another pair of eyes available to you.
Yeah, that's true, and he does have the high ground. So, okay, seeing as that was my action, I think I'm actually just going to stay put, because this is a decent spot for defensive purposes, and I telepathically tell Proof to don't get too close to the surface of the water, but basically if he could just sort of fly back and forth down the length of this pool and see if he can spot if there are one or more drains, that would be lovely.
Have Proof make a perception check, please.
Okay, and he'll bend up over there, I guess. And he has better eyes than I do, maybe. Nope, he rolls a 5. Yeah, this water's really choppy. It's hard to see. It's like there's been people. It's like there's been people fighting in it or something. Yeah, I guess it's
Slishing and slashing.
It's
Yeah. It's so murky.
Here's what I'll tell you. Both of you hear the flowing sound of water that's coming from somewhere, but you don't see anything. I think probably until the end of your turn, you realize it's coming from behind you. You
Clarify behind.
You hear something coming from over here, and also over here.
Sorry, can you ping that again? I somehow missed it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either.
There are
No
these little
pings.
side pools.
Oh, where the steam things came from?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wasn't asking.
Oh, I see now.
Yes.
Okay. So like, is it possible that like the water actually flows from there, like underneath?
Yeah.
There
You know, you
somehow?
kind of spend a whole kind of like scratching. You're like, there's nothing in the center pool that would indicate, and then you're like, oh, it's because it's in the other ones.
Okay. Fair enough. So anyway, so like I'm definitely like puzzling, kind of trying to puzzle this out. I do spare at least during this. I do spare at least a few seconds, like of brief, legitimate like concern looking at Chastity.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like actual sort of like open moments, I think, between us, at least not these days. But yeah, it's definitely like I look at the blood coming out of your mouth, and I do look worried. And yeah, I think I even say to you, I'm not sure. I don't want that thing to leave with your. I'll leave it at that.
Sorry, Nikki, we lost you.
Oh, I said I don't either.
Ah, okay. All right. Next up in the initiative order after this touching twin moment, we have Zozobaab.
Okay, so from where I am, is that a Misty Boy peeping out from under my little
Yes,
character
yeah,
marker?
sorry. I accidentally got it in the same space as you.
That's okay. Well, since it's there, you know, I think I'm gonna whack it.
Do it.
Whack it to
I'm so-
oblivion.
Totally gonna whack it.
Oh dear.
Oh, no.
Not so awesome.
Yeah,
And-
it's a little too close to you and it's dodging in front of your guard. You know, like when you have a mosquito like right in your face.
Oh no, the
Oh,
worst.
no.
But you do have a
The
second
worst.
attack
So,
if you want to
yes, I'm gonna-
reposition.
You always have a
Um,
second chance.
Yes, so I'm gonna try to hit it again.
Absolutely.
Just turn myself around and try to get a better angle. of
Sounds
this
good.
wispy thing. 15.
15 definitely hits.
Okay. Let's.
We're gonna do some regular damage. We're gonna do some smite. How are we gonna play this?
I don't think I want to smite this teeny tiny little thing.
Fair enough.
Well, I don't know though. See, what I'm afraid of is like if I smite it, is there bigger explosion and more chance for it to freaking hit me?
Who knows?
Does it smite me with its magical explosion?
No.
Does it smite back onto me?
Smite not, yes, lest
Chain
you be
reaction.
smited.
Thank
Okay,
you,
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try and smite it. We're just gonna go
Do it.
with a couple of good old
Smite your enemy.
D8. Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
14.
The first swing totally misses. It's in your guard. I think we see you kind of turn, and the wind from the pirouette pushes it away from you, and you line up the perfect strike. And as you hit it again, that lightning bolt comes down. What do we see?
And we see the same blonde man. This time he has a pompadour on, and he's wearing a white, pure white suit, beautifully turned out. He has a cigarette, and he just waves his hand, and the light comes out.
Yeah, and
It's
this
a
thing
White Duke.
just explodes. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh goodness. Okay. Not so much with the dexterity, Zozo.
Hey, there's always
It's
a
all right.
chance.
You're right. 17.
Oh, yeah. That's 2d20,
Hmm?
Ainsley, instead of just one.
Sorry. Oh, you are correct. It
Yeah,
was 2d20.
Go ahead and re-roll it.
Dang.
Maybe you'll roll an actual 17.
I rolled a 10.
That's exactly what you needed.
Yeah, and don't forget you add your charisma to your saves, or is that 6th? That's
I think
6th.
that's-
Never,
That's
think
sixth level, yeah.
Yeah.
never mind.
yeah.
Never mind.
All right. Well, Zozo.
That's right.
Zozo, can Zozo come over near to his friends?
Yeah, move yourself
at the
wherever you'd
end?
like.
I am gonna come over here. Bye.
If you come here, you won't provide.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Nah,
It's
okay.
fine. Yeah, you run up sort of beside Corvell.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Zozo, these things explode.
Zozo, no.
Um, Muhaka,
Very bad.
you are watching the surface of the water, watching for any indication of this creature's return, and it
Yeah.
pops up right in front of you. You just see the thing bursting up out of the water. Technically, reactions trigger before actions, since
Yes.
you are looking for its emergence, so your action triggers before its turn. So go ahead, and your spell releases, so it is going to
DC 14.
yep, roll a wisdom saving throw. Is that
Come
correct?
on, come on, come on.
It's wisdom, yes.
Yes.
Okay. 7.
Yes. There it is.
is.
All right, so go ahead and roll that damage. And this is 3rd level, right?
Yep.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Good hells.
That is 15 points.
Oh.
Nice.
And it must spend its reaction to move as far away as possible.
Okay.
Hey,
Which
Corvell.
means, Corvell, my friend, take that sneak attack.
You do get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's an 18 to hit.
Justin, you may be muted.
Oh, I am so sorry. Thank you. Yeah. So, Corvell, we'll say he was aware of what was happening, and yeah, like just suddenly like reaches out, like diving his rapier in, and 18 to hit.
Yeah, that definitely hits. So what I'd like, Justin, is for you to describe your kill.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Teamwork!
here's the thing. I think it probably just dissolves into water, and I have no idea it's dead. I just like stab it, and it's like, where'd it go again?
Yeah, you stab into it,
The most
and as it
anticlimactic
sloughs
kill.
down, and here's what happens next: is you see that small trace of red kind of dissipate, and actually, kind of you can see within the core of the creature there was more blood than what you had originally noticed.
Oh.
And as it sort of, there's a horrible sort of sucking noise as it sloughs back into the water. And Muhaka, I think you're the only one who hears someone cursing. And then you hear a rattling
Where?
noise. And all of you notice the pool beginning to drain.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that I would notice.
And that is where we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Wonderful viewers, thank you so much for sticking with us through this exciting combat. We will be back in just a few moments to figure out what on earth is going on. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. Last we left our heroes, they had just defeated a terrifying and mysterious creature that had attacked them and Lady Petra in the bathhouse under the Palace of Golshan. It was accompanied by a bevy of flying, steamy elemental creatures, which they also managed to defeat. But as they're all sort of breathing hard, dripping onto the beautifully tiled floors, Muhaka heard something. A muttered curse and a screeching sound of metal. And then, after a few moments, everyone noticed the pool beginning to drain. The last of the blood that the creature had taken from both Chastity and Lady Petra draining along with it.
Wait.
What?
Wait. Just to check, the blood, although it used to be part of the creature, no longer is a living creature.
That's correct.
Fantastic. I would like to freeze the 4 tons of water that contain the blood.
All right, yeah, Belief, the moment that you notice that this is happening, you step forward and just a floating chunk of ice materializes. Little strands of red sort of running through it, little pieces of whatever made up this creature's body, similarly frozen in pockets inside.
Yeah,
Muhaka is
yeah.
going to run towards where she heard the sound.
Okay.
The cursing.
Make a perception check, Muhaka.
Oh, I forgot. This is a weird one. Oh, man. I'm gonna roll. Oh, I rolled a 17. No, it's a 20.
20. All right, excellent.
20 something. 20 a lot.
Okay. In that case, Muhaka, you find you're sort of looking at where the sound came from, and what you find is a hidden door.
Wait.
Not necessarily a secret door, but just sort of discreet. Clearly some sort of servant's entrance. It's not actually marked on the map here. It's right here. I couldn't find a way to do it that wasn't secret.
Wait, you think your ping was still invisible. Do you mean here?
Yes, right here.
That's right.
Oh,
Right
the door was
here.
over there.
Yes.
In all of those places.
Yeah, everywhere.
And yeah, Muhaka, I think you kind of see between 2 pillars sort of a break in the pattern of the mosaic tile in the wall. Kind of run over and push on it, and it's not, locked or anything, but you push on it and the room, the door opens, and you can see a room that was clearly made for like heating the water, stoking it. There's a big brass wheel on one wall, and there is a dead body
Cool.
lying on the floor.
Oh, goodness.
Or you presume it is a dead body. It is covered in a cloak, and there is a pool of blood leaking out of it.
So it's a fresh kill.
Within, well, you'd have to look, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll check.
Okay. Yeah, you all see Muhaka run over to the wall, throw it open, and continue running inside. Muhaka,
follow?
just so you know, there is another door out of this room right here that you can see, and from the back it is very obvious, but another sort of hidden door into a different room over here.
2 of you, I need 2 of you to go and check the doors right now. Somebody was in here. Go, go.
Okay,
Check the
Zozo.
exits.
You mean-
Through that door.
Can we see the doors from there, or do we just hear her
You
shouting?
you run in after her?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, yeah. From inside the room, the doors are very obvious. They're just like discreet servants' doors. Like
Okay.
built into the wall, essentially.
I'll run in there and check the door for Muhaka.
Corval, you're fast on your feet. Go.
Yeah, Corval will follow Zozo for sure.
Okay, Zozo, which door do you want to check? This one or this one?
I want to check this one.
All right. Yeah, Zozo, you sort of run up to it and are rattling. It's locked.
You're saying it is locked?
It is locked.
Okay. Corval, door locked. Any trick? Open lock?
Yes, though I don't have my picks on me at the moment, but let me take a look. Can I check out the door?
Yes. It is definitely locked, however, you don't have your tools on you. I'd assume
Yeah.
you maybe left them with your clothes in the other room.
Yeah. So, I guess I'll say, give me a moment, I'll be right back.
Quick question. From the look, sort of like standing by the door, looking in, how sturdy are these doors?
That one, I mean, they're the 2 secret doors are stone doors. That one is a heavy wooden door.
By that one, do you mean the one that's locked? Or
Yes.
Is that... Okay. But it is a wooden door, not like a horse door.
Seems that way.
Interesting. Well, I have an idea. One moment, though. Let's before we go charging off into the wild blue, on a scale of 1 to very, how traumatized is Lady Petra right now?
She is, as Zareen has sort of run over and draped a robe back around her, and she is sort of like looking, because all of the hit points that she has right now, except for like 2, are temporary hit points. So she's like got this feeling on her face like, I should be feeling worse, but I kind of feel okay, and sort of staring, and she looks at you and looks at the floating thing of ice, which is melting fairly rapidly since the water is quite warm around it. And she says, what was that? What happened? I couldn't even see it, but I could feel it.
Yeah, I kind of like hold up a skating, say, I promise we will explain to the best of our own understanding, but right now we need to possibly pursue, and we also need to make sure blood doesn't get out of this room. Keep the sword. Geez, 2 different ones. I tell Proof, just make sure that nothing happens to that ice for like a second, and I come into the room to help out.
Okay.
So, could you turn the wheel really quick for me, please? With a stop to draining of the water, or at least I assume this wheel will stop the draining of the water.
Sure, Zozo, turn wheel.
Yeah, with a grating noise. You don't need to make a check. It's designed to do this. It's in good repair.
Okay.
You crank the wheel, and I think Chastity and Belief, who are still out in the main area at that point, watch the water level stop dropping.
Perfect. Okay.
Why would this thing want to be, whoever did this, why would they want to be draining the water?
Blood in water. Creepy guys, I don't know.
Yeah, I am blood is a powerful spellcasting focus. I am concerned what somebody might do with it if they are waiting on the other end of pipes. Yeah.
Wants them getting their hands on her.
That's fair.
Okay. Anyway, I have an idea for that door, Zozo, if you would.
Okay.
Okay.
Corel, at this point, you are coming back with your stuff, I assume.
Yeah,
Unless you're
I think
taking
you
the
needed
time to
go-
like put on your armor and whatnot.
I think he needed to go at least grab some. He needs to be decent, so yeah, he has to get his stuff. And as he's walking by the lady, and Petra is just like, ladies, I apologize for the intrusion. Sort of blushes as he walks away.
Zareen kind of goes, given the circumstances, I suppose it can be overlooked.
All right. Okay. So, Liza, you tell me if this will work, because time is sort of the essence, I think, at the moment. So, I stop like 5 feet from that wooden door.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call it 10 feet, and I pull the decanter of water that hangs at my side. Point it at the door, and say the word geyser in Infernal.
Yeah, you all watch.
What does the door do?
You all watch Belief pull out his water decanter, unstopper it, speak a word, and just a fire hose stream of water comes rushing out and blows the door off of its hinges, smacking it into the back wall of the corridor beyond. Which I will show to you in one moment.
I want to slap him on the shoulder and be like, I love when you speak Infernal.
And you can see a corridor that has begun turning away, and turns deeper into the castle. As far as
Wait, did anybody look at the body?
Not yet.
Why don't you go ahead and do that, Chastity?
Yeah, I want to see, like, I don't know, I guess I'm wondering, like, was this body used as a sacrifice to create that thing? Whose body is it? Like, all those things.
All right. You kneel down and pull the cloak that is covering it back. And the very first thing that you notice is this is not a creature that you recognize.
Damn, I was hoping it was a paladin.
You
and me both.
There are some things about it that are familiar.
Really? Okay.
The clothing, it is humanoid in form, the clothing that it is wearing looks familiar. You've definitely seen some of the servants in the palace wearing stuff like this, but it has clawed hands and feet, and a vaguely dog-like head, all covered in a fine brown-gray fur, and the the toothy muzzled face is sort of frozen in this expression of fierce joy. And you can see it has basically ritual markings all over it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this
My-
is where the-
Cool.
Can I do some Arcana science to see if I know anything about
Yeah, make an Arcana check to examine the glyphs carved into this body.
And also if I know what kind of creature this is?
Mhm.
That...
I'll help. Seeing as
Ooh.
the
Thanks.
door has been vanquished, so.
Wait, what's your Arcana?
It's +6.
Okay, how about you? I help you.
How about one of you try to identify the creature and one of you try to identify the spell?
Now we're talking.
I'll do the creature. What am I rolling?
I'll do the spell.
Arcana.
Arcana. Okay. Ooh, 17.
Down the hallway.
21.
Okay.
Show off.
Chastity, you have it, you're pretty sure this creature is some sort of lycanthrope. Probably not a werewolf. It doesn't actually look like a wolf. Given that this is a desert environment, your best guess for this is probably a jackal were.
A werejackal? Oh my
No.
god. Jackal were. Both of those are funny words.
Which means that it probably looked very human until it died and reverted to its true hybrid form.
That's great.
Okay, so it could be someone we've seen before.
It could
Wait.
well be.
Wait, you said it was wearing. What was it wearing?
Clothes that are very, very similar to what most of the servants and the gardeners are wearing. Like,
Okay. No, for a second I thought you were like a guard uniform.
no, not a
Is
guard.
there a name tag?
No.
I would like to search for a name tag.
There is no name tag.
Is it written on the back of the underwear?
Is it Gus? Is Gardener Gus?
And Belief, you rolled a 21.
Yes.
These markings are definitely for a ritual sacrifice of some sort. And given what your sister said earlier, you're guessing that this person turned into that creature.
So I see. So in my scientific opinion, no. Not a fan.
You also know that for this sort of magic to work,
Mm-hmm.
it would have to be a willing participant.
Yeah, well, that guy's face
Okay.
says he's willing.
And
True.
the
Yeah.
other thing, since you previously examined some other stuff, this is the glyph work is a similar style to the same to the spell circle that you found under Lady Suad's body. And there are similar themes of like the spirit of vengeance
Cool.
and blood. Both of those things are still apparent. Even without
You guys-
casting comprehend languages, you pick out those repeated glyphs.
You guys, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and say this is that pissed off cousin.
We can talk
Muhaka.
later once we're not in rapid pursuit of someone.
Muhaka,
Or we can talk while we're in pursuit.
1 second,
She
Chastity.
says.
Muhaka, you kind of run out. The flood of water with the door has kind of slammed down. You walk, and the water is continuing to flow sort of down the hallway. And you notice that there is a reddish tint to it. And you realize that you hadn't really consciously noticed it before, but you think there were some footprints in that puddle of blood.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
But They have been washed away. At least from this part of the hallway. It continues.
Muhaka will keep going, and she will once again cast Eyes of Enhanced Ability, Wisdom of the Owl,
Okay.
to hopefully try to see if she can at least keep track for as long as she can.
All right, so the twins are examining the body. Muhaka's running down the hall. Zozo Ba'ab, Corvell, what are the two of you doing?
Should we follow Muhaka?
I think we should follow Muhaka. Yeah, shouldn't let her go down the hall by herself.
Yeah, we'll be fine here. Go.
When we get in the hall, Corvell just starts whispering to Zozo, just like, "What the hell is happening right now? This is."
Zozo not know.
It's like,
Zozo screams it down the hall.
I forgot that whispering isn't one of your strong suits.
Yeah, Zozo, it's loud. It like echoes down the hall. What do you mean? Zozo whispering.
It's fine. It's fine. Listen, whoever's trying to kill Lady Petra isn't exactly being subtle either, am I right?
Yeah, seem bad and not care. Send bad worm guy. I don't know.
This is 2 attempts and failed both times. Like they're not doing a great job.
Yeah, kind of suck. I hope Lady Petra okay.
Do you have any suspicions about who it might be?
Zozo Paladin, okay? Other guy, also Paladin. Doesn't feel great to Zozo.
Yeah.
Seem like could be bad man.
He seems
But
like the
unclear.
one- He's the cousin, right? The other paladin.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, it's like he does seem like the one with a motive.
Zozo not know what motive is, but he seem bad.
And so then Corvell just walks down the hall explaining what a motive is to Zozo.
So, Muhaka, you hear them coming down the hall behind you and down at the end of this long hall. And as you get further and further, you do see a few sort of traces, although the blood has gotten pretty thin, like they've, walked off most of it.
Yeah.
And by the time you reach the end of the hall and the door, which gives out into a main corridor, this is clearly like a narrow, like, servant's passage.
Sure.
The footsteps have basically dried up by the time you reach the door at the end of the corridor.
I mean, she'll still walk out and peek down the corridor, down the hall, listen. Use all the wisdom of the owls.
All right, make a
'Cause they're
perception
super
check.
wise. For my perception check.
With advantage, because of your spell.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I got a 22.
Damn, girl. Yeah, 22. I think you see a few more kind of little tiny traces of that blood going down the hall in the direction of sort of the main castle. It looks like whoever this was started basically like flat out running.
Is there anyone that Muhaka could say, hey, did you see someone running?
Not at
Could
the
I
moment.
tell by the footprints whether it might have been, say, somebody with really big feet or dainty feet?
They are of average size for a humanoid. They would be. Make a survival check, actually. You still have advantage on that because it is wisdom based, I do believe.
Yes. All right, a survival. That'll be an 18.
Yeah, definitely a medium creature. Fairly tall, but not especially large. Not like big, heavy armor boots. Kind of more like, probably a soft shoe. You'd be more inclined to say it was a woman than a man, but it could also just be like a man with a smaller build, or
certainly. And so not like servant's boots.
yeah, that would be consistent.
Okay.
They're just not like big, heavy armored boots or bare feet. They're like
Yeah.
a soft shoe.
Or bare feet.
Or bare feet.
Or bare feet. Actual bare feet.
As you kind of are searching around, you hear some people running down the hall towards you, and you see a couple of guards with one of the guards from there, and they stop short when they see you and they say, "Is everything all right? We heard screaming."
Did you see anyone running when you came here? As you were coming?
We saw a few servants running from the noise. They came to warn us.
Everything is handled. The Lady Feather was attacked, but we were able to foil it.
Yeah, he says.
You can go inside.
There was one man with them. One of the guards pipes up. I thought it was strange he was down here. He was a gardener.
The
A
gardener? The gardener from the very first episode that I wanted to poke at.
Kind of shrugs. He says, "I thought it was a little odd that he was down here, but who am I to question?"
Well, I can easily... Don't tip him off that we are aware. I will speak. Me and my companions and I shall speak to him. Now, why don't you? I'm sure... You can go in the cart. There's really not much you can do right now. Sweep the grounds if you...
They nod. He says, "I remember he had an armband, a white armband, and you remember that the body on the floor was wearing a white armband."
Where's... Wait.
Like a Nazi armband?
Just like a handkerchief or like a bandage or something.
Is that normal? Like, does staff around here wear that?
Yeah,
for some
like,
reason?
have we seen other staff wearing that armband, or is that something that's just...
Part of the ritual, like...
Seems
Possibly.
real culty to me. Real culty.
I mean, it could be part of the uniform. If it's part of the uniform, but if it's not part of any uniform I've seen so far, whereas, like, servants have been wearing them, then I'd be like, go and apprehend that
Well, if
gardener
it's
right
part
now.
of the uniform, then he wouldn't have brought it up.
By armband, I mean like a handkerchief or like a bandage. Not like
they slash their arms and push their
Yeah.
blood together.
yeah, or something like that.
To actually belay that, I would like you to go and apprehend the gardener.
Yes, of course. And they turn and rush off in the opposite direction.
And then Muhaka goes sweeping back. Well, there's no point going back in here, so she'll take the long way around, stop, go back for Corvel and Zozo.
Well,
Yeah,
the two of
we'll
you have
catch
come
up.
up behind Muhaka as she's speaking to the guards.
What did you find out?
Well, it seems that the gardener was wearing a white something around their arm that our dead body in there also wore.
Oh,
On top
yeah,
of that-
Zozo seen white thing on hand, arm. Zozo not great with anatomy.
Unfortunately, Belief's decision to go the way of his sister meant that I could not properly study the clues. I assumed that there would be boot prints. Bloody boot prints, but unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't matter really. But I think it might be female or someone of a slight build, not armored boots. Makes sense since they were not running, they were not clanking around. Why would they?
Well, Muhaka, let's not go blaming people for things when they intended to do well. That's more Belief's move anyway.
I don't. Oh.
Wow,
See,
Corvel, real
you-
shitty.
He's not here.
Now, here's the thing. There's certain people I expect these behaviors from, and there are others I don't. And
What
it is
behavior?
disappointing. Muhaka just kind of pats Zozo on the side of the face.
Oh, and Zozo's just like, oh, thank you. Oh, please do that more.
The gentle cheek caress, and there's like, let's go.
of the beautifully blown out
Sounds.
face fur.
Oh,
That
Mohawk,
would never change.
Mohawk, nice.
She would smile if she could, but she can't. So.
Oh,
And I guess we'll rendezvous with the others and exchange the information.
Yeah.
yeah,
On
sounds
that,
good.
what have you found?
Yes. Meanwhilest,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah, can we do one of those like twirly newspaper things?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Twirly
meanwhile,
spell
back-
scrolls.
Yeah.
Yes, scrolls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, spell scrolls, perfect.
Anyway, yeah. So back in the servant water heating chamber. Yeah. So once we've sort of gleaned what we can glean from the body, I think Belief's thought will be to kind of like sort of like have this moment where it's like stops and it's like, hold on a sec. Kind of goes back over to the door and looks out into the bath chamber again, just to like to check on Petra and Zareen again.
I mean, Petra is like leaning in the doorway watching you
Okay.
guys, much to Zareen's chagrin. She's like, "My lady, you should not look at such things." And Petra, like, still holding the sword in one hand, is just going like, really?
Yeah.
Still wrapped in the towel,
Yep.
like, really?
No, Zareen has made her put a robe on at this point.
Yeah.
Still robe, he's like,
Yeah. So I mean, if she's standing at the door, I actually just sort of wave her in.
What
Is
is
this-
that thing?
To look at Chastity.
It's a were-jackal thing. It's a were beast. You know, like a person that like turns into a beast.
A shapeshifter in most general terms.
All right.
So it could have been here the whole time and we wouldn't have known?
I mean, I think technically it's a he, but yeah, if you wanna.
Well, I mean, if you look at the way that it's dressed, it appears as though it may have been attempting to conceal itself amongst the staff.
Do you think there are more?
Oh, probably.
I mean, that would be the immediate concern. The others are in pursuit of presumably a co-conspirator, possibly another one of these. I don't know.
Petra, how much silver do you have?
Silver? Coins or?
Anything silver, actual silver, not like cheap pewter disguised as silver, but like silver.
Why?
Well, because if there's more lycanthropes, then they don't like silver.
Oh, is that so?
I'm pretty sure that's true.
If it is weapons you are looking for, you should speak with Javed. He would know.
Not even a weapon, but I'm saying if like there are people disguised, and you got like a silver necklace and you touch them with it and they burn, that's a good way to tell. It's like wearing crosses around a vampire or garlic.
Have you fought a vampire?
Yes, I dated a vampire once.
Color me surprised.
Oh, did not work out great.
Dating is a
Sorry to
strong word.
remind.
Yes. Sometimes, the best way to break up with a guy is to stab him through the heart. Anyways, this isn't about
Especially when you
me.
find him trying to suck your blood through your neck, but
Chastity dated much worse people. The vampire wasn't that bad.
I'm not super sure that this is helping, actually. Anyway,
The silver idea is going to help Belief if you get
No.
your stern look off your face and stop judging me and actually listen to the idea that I have, then maybe we can do something. Unless you want to sulk in the corner.
actually, Chastity, my point is that we should return to your excellent silver idea and stop talking
Oh, okay. thank you.
questionable dating history.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, Petra, to my sister's point, I don't know if we can assume that jackalwares are the only creatures involved, but it might not be a terrible idea to check
great idea.
silver.
It's a great idea.
And
Okay,
Zareen
yes, it
says,
is an objectively good idea. Fair.
"Well, fortunately, we have a dress for you, son, with all sorts of silver thread." And Petra kind of goes, "Oh, but I hate that dress." And Zareen is just like, "Yes, an opportunity."
Excellent. Put it on, and then we'll find silver pieces for us. We should each get some silver jewels or weapons. You should give us silver.
I am certain there are things in my jewels that would serve. You will come, and she sort of moves, and Zareen is moving to like take her to her chambers to get sort of things sorted.
Tiaras all around.
Yeah, and I like loop my
shiny.
arm. I loop my arm through Zozo Bob's arm, and I'm like, "Ooh, we're gonna get some jewels."
Oh, Zozo Bob, love jewels. Could be really good silversmith. Shiny.
I love it when doing good gets me things.
You all start making your way up out of the bathhouse. The guards who had been there, kind of arriving too late, forming up around your still sort of dripping wet party, shielding.
Not for long. I'm gonna start shaping that water off.
Fair enough.
Prestidigitation. Yeah. No, I don't know if prestidigitation does. Yeah, does that?
Well, I can shape the water away, and then I can use prestidigitation.
Mhm.
I
Anyway.
use mending to fix all the melted steel. Just like.
As you guys are walking up, Muhaka, you see the guards that you had a conversation with. You reach sort of the first courtyard that you would reach coming out of this bathhouse up from underground, and you see them sort of looking at a small group of servants and gardeners, and you see someone sweep across the courtyard in the direction of the group. And you recognize sort of the elaborate headdress and severe high-collared robe of the steward as she approaches. She says, "What's going on here?" Sort of approaches the guards and sort of begins, because they're kind of being rough with the servants and like looking and checking them all over, looking evidently for the person that you sent them to look. And she sort of interposes herself.
Oh, hi. Zozo Bob, like to see you. You got a pretty hat.
Thank you. I'm afraid I'm rather in the middle of dealing with something at the moment. Just
is
sort
a
of
fetching
nods.
Petra was attacked, and
What?
whoever it was ran.
It
The
seems
guard
as though-
saw the gardener in the area wearing articles of clothing that matched other clues we stumbled across, and I instructed them to fetch the gardener, though it seems that they're having a hard time.
I suppose. Do you see the individual you're searching for here? And she sort of
I never saw
gestures,
the gardener.
and
They did.
the assembled servants sort of start organizing themselves into a line as she's sort of gesturing and barking orders. And the guard's sort of looking at all of them, and kind of looks over at you, Muhaka, and sort of shakes his head.
Well, that's. Do you remember what they look like? He looked like.
Yeah, and the guard starts giving a description of man. He describes the clothes he was wearing, the armband.
I don't care about the clothes. I prefer the face. The clothes can change, face cannot.
He
At least
describes
with you.
it, but it does strike you that what he describes the man as wearing is exactly what the man whose body you found was wearing.
Is this uniform something we would have seen?
They're
around,
not
or is
all
it,
necessarily uniform. It's just sort of like wearing similar color. It's kind of a little less official than a uniform. There's like variations on it.
The variations based on whoever they might be serving, or their
just sort of
players?
like more like if they found something that was the right color, they slapped
Sure.
the sigil on it.
So Corvell will mention to the steward that a lot of the people that seem to be involved in this plot are members of the servants and the gardeners, and that
Perhaps this is a conversation better had in privacy.
Of course. You're welcome to follow me to my office.
Before we all disperse here, I take it and I sort of include the guard in this. So I take it these are all of the gardeners and servant staff that you found in the immediate area.
That's correct, sir.
Very well. Before Chastity, your idea with a silver check is a good one. Perhaps before we allow them to go back about their business, we should just procure an item silver. Check.
And make sure the body. Nothing.
More
Of
that
course, yes, nothing at all.
the steward sort of folds her arms and says, "We will need to speak to his lordship about this. It's highly irregular."
These are irregular times, to put it extraordinarily lightly.
Besides, he put us in charge of protecting his bride-to-be and in investigating the murder of his almost mother-in-law. So
Everything
really,
would
you're
be
going
made
against him.
Everything will be made clear when we have had a moment to talk in privacy, where none can overhear.
Very well. And she just sort of gestures for you to follow her.
I look at Chastity.
What?
Do you want to? Well, the silver was your idea,
Yeah,
or should I?
you can.
I just kind of give you like a tight nod and sort of go to just join the guards to talk about, like, you know, I'll be right back. Some sort of blah blah blah. I'll explain what I want to them.
Yeah, you start explaining this, and they sort of look confused for a while, but eventually you're able to explain to them what you want to do. But especially after Mordot was kind of like, well, you have to get the Laura's permission, they all seem kind of like, maybe we should check before we just do that.
I make it. If there's any hesitancy, make it about accept responsibility for any blowback from this. So, yeah, they don't need to worry about getting the blame on this. Well,
here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to make a persuasion check.
fair enough.
Performance?
Not performance.
May I perform persuasion? I'm good
No,
at that.
you may not.
Well, you know, doesn't hurt asking. Here. Let's see here. Yeah, Belief's not really a people person. I'm not sure if that's really been coming across.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah, so. Okay, well, he's doing all right this time around, though. That'll be an 18.
Yeah, I think, you know, with a little bit of chatting, and particularly because you're wearing the livery, you know, you're able to convince him that you know, he can do it and not have to worry about any of the consequences.
Yeah, I'm very much like, look, trust me, if Chavez is gonna start yelling, it'll be me. This is my idea. Don't worry about it. And besides, all I want to do is to like touch a silver coin to their hands. No harm done.
Wait, you're giving out the silver?
Hmm?
You're giving out the silver coins to them?
No. I'm gonna take like a silver piece and like press.
Sorry, I can only hear parts.
Oh, sorry. I'm not. Sorry, my audio's messed up. So anyway, but yeah, so I go carry on with that plan. We can cut back to that if you.
Yeah. So my question is, where are you guys going right now?
to update what's her face on what happened.
Okay, so you're following Mordat.
At least Muhaka is.
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
cool.
Yeah, we'll go speak to her.
All right.
My
Yeah,
posse.
yeah. She leads you sort of up into through some corridors, kind of walking quite quickly, authoritatively. People kind of part out of her way, and leads you into her office. And as you all file in, just sort of shuts the door behind you. She goes, very well, what's the meaning of this? You're harassing my people?
Harassing is such a strong word.
I try not
Well-
to use weak words.
Some people are bad.
I like her.
He's trying to kind of explain that some people might be bad. Some of those people could be bad.
Listen, we have reason to believe that there are lycanthrope infiltrators among the staff, and that they are part of a plot to kill Lady Petra.
Didn't I say that?
Muhaka is
You
actually.
did say that.
Doing- Sorry, my bad. Muhaka is gonna do a quick pace around the room, listening for any sounds like a creak of somebody who might be behind some hidden door or whatever.
Sure, make a
Make
perception
sure-
check.
Begin
I'm
the hidden
sorry.
door paranoia.
It's only a 17.
There is another door actually out of this chamber, and you would imagine it connects to the next room down the hall. The chamber is nice, well appointed, not fancy by any means.
She doesn't care about that.
And you can I don't think know what's on the other side. You've not been to that room. You can hear coming from the other side of the door, sort of a voice intermittently. It sounds like someone talking to themselves, sort of like in a low voice, but more like as if someone were. And occasionally you also hear the sound of like scratching of a pen.
Like somebody's taking notes.
Yeah, or like talking to themselves while writing or something like that.
Well, they seem to be more occupied with themselves, so that's
Yeah.
good. Muhaka will use prestidigitation to make some noise in the room to make it a little harder for anyone who might still eavesdrop because she's paranoid after what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Mordat kind of watches you doing all of this. Can
We've
you
been watching-
explain to me
Oh.
exactly what it is that's gotten you so riled up? You're being very vague.
I literally just said there's lycanthrope infiltrating him.
You said you had reason to believe that. What's your reason?
The reason is we found a lycanthrope's dead body wearing your servant's uniform.
Ah, now that is concrete evidence. Thank you. That is rather troubling.
Ouch.
Well, Dad, you have a beautiful accent. Where are you from?
Quite a ways away. I'm certain you wouldn't have heard of it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're from here.
No, I'm not. I came
I would
here with
also,
Kian.
I would also like the body to be put somewhere where I can study it later.
Of course, I am more than happy to have it moved somewhere for your convenience. I assume you're talking about using some sort of magic.
Yes.
All right. Is there somewhere in particular you'd like it put? I can have my people
Just
move it.
somewhere it won't be disturbed, where I would have privacy.
Of course, that can be arranged.
Is it reasonable
And,
to say that, like, Chastity has silver coins on her?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to, like, while Muhaka's giving orders, I just want to kind of, like, tap a silver coin on the bare flesh of this lady.
Yeah, it's hard to do. She dresses very conservatively. Really the only place that she walks around without covered is her hands and her face.
I'll stick it right on
On
her
her
cheek.
cheek.
Yeah, you walk up to it, and as you do that, she turns, right as you're about to touch her and bats your hand away. And she goes, "What are you doing?"
Just making sure that all
Covering
my
all
bases
the-
are covered. And then I go try again.
Yeah, she just closes her hand around your fist with
And
the
I was
coin.
anticipating that, and I come in with
Yeah,
the
no,
other...
she like grabs the coin out of your hand.
Yeah, but I have more than one coin. I want to like distract her.
Here's what I'll say: roll a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
You're really going for this nose boop with the
Nose
Yeah,
boop.
especially now that
It's a good move. Classic misdirection.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Corval is so proud. Oh, my music stopped. Why did my music stop?
Was it on
Yeah.
loop? Loop the loop.
12.
12. I think that you're not able to get it to her face, but she is grabbing your hand with the coin in it.
Oh, so that counts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of
Okay.
looking at you like,
Is
What an
she
eccentric
burning?
performance.
no.
Oh, okay. I just shrug and go, okay, and then I just walk away. I like pull my hand out of her grasp and then just like walk
And-
away. And I
Well, here's what I'll say. Actually, the correct answer for is she burning is make a perception check to see if
Oh.
you notice anything.
There it is.
You said no.
I did, but I realized that the more correct answer would be make a perception check.
I mean, I would be watching, so I don't care what she rolled.
11.
You're
Hoping-
not in close enough proximity to her, I think, to necessarily notice that. You don't like smell any burning flesh or, you know, notice any wince of pain or anything like that.
I rolled an 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then I'm satisfied.
See, what else is there to cover?
I just look at Muhaka and go, mm-mm.
So Mordat, was it you who was in charge of procuring all of the servants for this event?
Yes, it's surprisingly difficult to do in these parts.
I imagine. Where did you find them? Just from local villages?
Most of them, yes. Some of them Kian brought with him from his previous household, but particularly for people doing the hard labor of reconstruction. Locals, for the most part. I haven't had much trouble with them. It is, I suppose, possible that there could be some sort of infestation, as you say. I really haven't had any trouble with them, though. Would surprise me.
It seems like these must have been hard lands to live in once the gardens were overtaken. Like, the survivors must have been... Like, am I right in assuming that?
Well,
Like
there are
the-
tribes that live out in the desert, I believe. Certainly it's not a lush
Yeah.
land.
A hard people, though.
One assumes. They do good work, and I pay them for it. That's the extent of what I need to know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I, for one, am tired of reacting when someone tries to kill someone, and I think that perhaps we should do something a little bit more proactive about the situation.
I love that suggestion.
Muhaka.
We could round up all of
Be
the
my guest.
servants and throw silver at them. Can I do a knowledge
That was
check?
exactly what I was thinking.
Yes. Before you do that, Muhaka, I do just want to tell you one thing. With your passive score, I think you would notice that she was, with what Chastity was doing, definitely put off by it in more of a way than, like, not by like the fact that she put silver on her or anything, but Chastity like reaching out to touch her really freaked her out. She did a pretty good job of hiding it, but
Now the question is it because of she's a tiefling? Or just freaked out in
Yep.
general that somebody reached out?
But I don't read as a tiefling, so she didn't know.
yeah, it was specifically when Chastity reached out for her face.
She's a robot.
Mordat is a human?
Hey!
Yeah, she appears to be.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that's them's fighting words, Chastity.
All right.
She could be a robot. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying maybe that's why she didn't want her face being touched, because she didn't want me to see that it's a mask.
It is definitely does not look anything like Muhaka's masks.
Different. Bad.
I
How do you
notice
Somebody
it.
else touch her face. See what she does.
Let's just hold her down and touch her
Sorry,
face.
that was a-
anything?
Let's grapple her and touch her face.
Oh, ladies seem nice.
I'm sorry, we need to touch your face for science.
Okay, what are you guys actually doing?
I want to roll a knowledge check on lycanthropes and see if there's anything other than silver to identify them. Aside from just pelting people with silver whenever possible.
Here's what I'll say is this is the kind of thing that you would probably need to sit and do some research and thinking and going through notes and things like that.
Library.
So Corvell didn't notice the weird face thing, so I can't really speak on that, but Corvell would be actively trying. I think Corvell would look at Belief, and he would be
I'm
like,
not there. I'm not there.
Oh, you're not there?
"Oh,
Oh,
I didn't
excellent.
know
Dad's
that."
not here. So there's no real authority. Oh, okay. Then
Yeah, I need to stop leaving you guys unattended. It's really mine.
Well, Corvell's trying to talk everyone into setting up a trap, basically. That we should make a public display of where Lady Petra is going to be tomorrow, and try to draw out whoever it is that's lurking in the shadows. Bring them to us rather than us chasing them around.
This sound like plan for whispering? Maybe.
Yeah, are you having this conversation just straight up in the middle of this woman's office?
Yes.
She says, well, that...
Corvell's an oblivious guy.
And she seems cool. So.
There are quite a number
as far as
of
you can tell.
events already planned for tomorrow. You're aware of that, yes?
Do we look like party planners?
No, that's my job.
So then why would we be aware?
Well, you seem to be aware of certain things, but my apologies if I've overestimated your capabilities.
No, you just didn't share your G-Cal with us.
Ooh.
I like her so much.
And I'm kind of circling her a bit. I'm repositioning. I don't like her, and I want to I'm not doing anything obvious, but I'm just genuinely trying to make her uncomfortable without doing anything that she can be stop doing that.
Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to make an intimidation check.
Okay.
It sounds like that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm just really trying to fuck with her right now because I don't like her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like a lot of people.
Yeah. Actually, a list of who you do like might be
23.
more helpful.
23? Yeah, I think she sort of is watching Chastity walk around the room and she says, look, I'd be happy to help you if your plans are actually going to go anywhere, but at the moment, it seems you're just wasting my time. Would you please leave?
Not a problem. And as I cross the room past her, and I want to kind of walk past her and just I want to tuck her hair behind her ear.
So she's wearing a turban basically that covers her whole hair and ears.
Okay, then I want to touch her chin, just be in a flirtatiously jerky way because I know she doesn't like her face being touched.
Make a sleight of hand check.
I wish I had realized how much of a jerk I wanted to be when I rolled my character. I should have known. Let me rephrase that. I should have known what a jerk I wanted to be. No, it's a 9.
A 9.
Subtlety, not your...
No, it's not your...
I think what happens is you reach out for it and she jumps back out of the way in time, but your hand sort of brushes up against the turban that she is wearing, and I think you can see just this moment of fear and anger and panic that she very quickly quashes.
Like a hawk.
Yeah.
She's just been quiet, letting this play out and watching.
This is some Professor Quill shit going on, right? We're all aware of that.
At this point, unless Zozo has something they want to do, at this point Corvell will bite, and Corvell will try to use their whole thing as a distraction, and will try to reach up and grab at her turban and pull it.
All right,
We're
leaving. Out.
Corvell, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
I provisionally feel bad for provisional on her not actually
This
being.
isn't like a religious turban, is it?
You don't know?
Yeah, are we?
Oh
I
God,
don't know.
is this a trap?
The turban is trapped. No, I'm kidding.
No, but is it just like
Make
this
a
is like her
dex
sacred turban, and if she ever takes it off, she has to like leave her
No, no, it
religious
is not.
order?
I would
Okay,
have
good.
informed you guys if this were a religious
All right.
thing.
15.
Here's what I think. I think you get part of it. And
Okay.
what you see, because what you see is it catches on her ears, which are long and pointed.
Ah.
And she kind of grabs at it.
Like it's
What?
Here's I think the flash that you all see with this, and you can see that her hair under it is like this very odd color. It's like such a dark green that it's almost black and kind of iridescent. And the ears that you see all give you a flash of a familiar face.
Who?
Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Yeah.
This woman, while not a full-blooded elf, definitely has some elven blood and is going to some great lengths to hide it. And as she does that, she goes, "Why do you have to go sticking your nose in other people's business?"
Excuse.
Oh, then nothing wrong with being elf, lady.
Most people wouldn't agree with that.
Oh, well, okay.
We're not most people, as you can tell.
No, you're rude and ignorant, and I want you out of my sight.
Are we rude and ignorant, or are we rude and knowledgeable? Because it looks like we know shit
Okay.
you don't.
All three of you
rudeness is
out
not
of
in
the room
question.
now.
Zozo might
All
want to
three.
try and help her back with her hat on.
All three out. Let's
It's only
give
gonna
her
make it worse.
some now.
Probably.
She just kind of backs away from all of you, staring in.
Yeah, so
Anger.
Muhaka tells us to leave the room. Corval
Ow.
will leave.
Yeah. Zozo will listen to Muhaka, but he'll try
Yeah.
to be nice and. Okay, bye.
Yeah, Corval will just be like, "You truly are from very far away indeed," and he'll bow and leave the room.
After ripping her head off. Chastity looks at the two of them and says, "I'll be right outside." And smiles and walks out the door. But smiles like a jerk smile. She's enjoying it.
Muhaka. 1 second.
Yes.
Sorry. What are you doing?
You were gonna tell me something. You were like, Muhaka.
Oh, no. Sorry. What are you doing?
Oh.
Muhaka will go to the door. She will close it, not really step out. Turn and face her. I apologize for my friends. Well, you have to understand. Everything that is happening has put them on edge. Well, Chastity is Chastity, and she's terrible, but I truly am sorry, and know that your secret, we have no interest in spreading that. We do not judge you. And actually, Muhaka is going to switch for a moment to Sylvan and see if she understands.
What do you say?
We had a friend once who was Elven. So believe me when I say we understand somewhat. Not all of us are the most accepted. We are a very motley bunch. And if there is anybody who would not judge you, it is, well, us.
She sort of raises her eyebrows. It's clear that she understands what you're saying. And she steps forward. I think it's very unlikely that you've met anyone like me. But I appreciate the sentiment.
Then I will leave, and I hope that you can forgive their transgressions.
I'm sure I'll find a way to overlook it.
Be my guest to pay Chastity back. But be warned, if you start that, she tends to take the challenge to heart.
I'm not worried about her.
Well, I'm glad.
She smiles like kind of nastily. It's clear to you that she is half very angry, but there's something underneath the anger that you can't quite get at. This is a woman you're coming to realize who's probably spent a lot of time hiding things, and is probably pretty good at it.
Yeah, we'll work her in steps. We're not gonna get all the way for now. So for now, let's give her some space. And Muhaka is gonna nod and step out of the room and give her some privacy.
Yeah, you guys start walking, and yeah, where do you go?
Just a moment.
Yes, belief.
You've all made my work very complicated. All three of you.
We figured out a clue.
There are ways to go about these things. Subtlety is one of them. Not sticking your hands. She was clearly not a lycanthrope.
Yeah, you don't know that. She was clearly something and hiding something, and just because you aren't a lycanthrope doesn't mean you can't be in cahoots with a lycanthrope. And also,
Yes.
When have you ever known me to be subtle?
Well, once in a while you would think by now you would have grown up enough to learn how the subtleties work.
Just because I don't
Excuse
play
me.
by your rules of a grown-up does not mean I am not a grown-up. And I storm off.
Precisely what you are. A child.
Belief, what have you been up to?
Smash cut back to Belief, kind of looking wistfully into being like, I wonder if I should have let them all go off on their own again. That's probably fine. This keeps happening. Yeah. Feels like this shudder kind of passes over me. It's like, wow, I feel like something really awkward is happening somewhere. Anyway, but yeah. Meanwhile, while that's all been going on, yeah, I would have done the silver test on the assembled crowd. Basically, pulled out a silver coin. It basically just been like, humor me on this, everyone. This will just take a second. It's not gonna hurt. Just, and basically just ask her to hold their hand. Just gonna like press the coin to their palm for a moment and then move on to the next person and see if there's any reactions. Or if there's anyone who just really doesn't want, and that also is.
There are definitely people who are not interested in being touched by a stranger. That's for sure.
Well, for those that
particularly some of them seem to show reticence to you, given that you are a tiefling.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. So after a moment, I actually just sort of like take my glasses off and kind of just like, all right, look, change the rules. I'm going to give each of you a piece of silver. How does that sound?
Yeah, definitely. Some people seem very interested in it, and some of them are like, you can see people kind of like looking suspiciously at one another as you're sort of explaining why you need to do this. But eventually when you kind of offer to give it to them, many more people seem interested, and eventually everyone kind of steps forward with a handout.
Okay, so I probably give away basically all the money I have on me, but
there's only about a dozen people right there.
Yeah, but I'm probably not carrying around a ton of money.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, I give away like all the silver I have, just like to each one of them.
Yeah, you just sort of drop it into their palms.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I just like, you know, they hold their hand, I just like put it in their hand and just like watch them, see if there's any like, you know, fire, screaming, or rolling around.
None of those things.
Very good. Okay, so
If you would like, you can make a perception check. There is nothing that's like fire or screaming. But...
Yeah, I was going to say, I assume that a check of less tells is in the cards here. And I suppose it goes without saying that Proof is sitting on my shoulder, watching very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
So let us both see what we see. No, I don't see very much, as usual. Proof gets a natural 20.
Everyone...
He finds that shoe that I want.
Everyone seems fine.
Okay.
I can imagine Proof is off on his own adventure, solving the mystery while we're like...
Yeah, exactly. At some point we're like, all right, who did it? And he's just like, what?
Well.
Yeah. So,
I've known since episode 1.
Yes, and unsurprisingly, I have proof. Anyway, yeah, so I just sort of, I look at everyone and I just sort of like look up at him, perched on a nearby crenellation, like just shakes his head. And then I say, I tell the guards, whether or not there's anybody, whether or not there are actually hidden creatures, I can't say, but I'm reasonably certain that it is people here. They can go.
They sort of nod. I think Proof with his natural 20 notices something that happens after this, which is, I think he stays sort of perched up on that crenellation, and sees a couple of the people kind of fall into step with one another, walking away, and sort of follows them on a whim. And just as they're disappearing through a doorway, sees one of them kind of toss the coin up into the air and catch it and goes, "Don't they know that shit don't work?"
So you were joking about Proof solving this mystery, but all right. So he presumably after a little while, but meanwhile, once the whole business with giving people dealt with, I assume Petra went off to her chambers during this whole operation, or did she want to stay?
No, she was escorted back to her rooms, and it seemed like you guys were gonna go meet her there to possibly get some silver.
Yeah, so, how certain, like, she had guards with her and whatnot? I assume? Okay. Alright, I'm gonna take a gamble on her being, reasonably safe for the moment. So I don't head straight back there. I wait for Proof to come back because he wandered off somewhere.
Yeah, he comes back and relays to you what happened.
Yeah. To which I offered the considered and measured response of, something unspeakable and I'm glad that Chastity isn't around to give me trouble for it. And then, I think it's clearly we're lacking some knowledge, so I'm going to take an hour to go and see if any of the books that I have, or if any of the books that, or maybe I don't know if the library had anything on this when I was there that I might have noticed, anything magical creatures, because apparently we don't know how jackal wares work.
All right, so Belief heads to the library to do some research. Are you guys going to meet him there?
Sure.
Yes, after I scold Corvell as well.
For what?
For always following along. You can't ever think for your own.
Says, you don't complain when I follow you along.
I don't order you around to do things unless it is absolutely necessary. You simply observe and do things. Especially when, why would you do what she does? Follow along with her. You still have not outgrown your need to impress everybody around you.
Ooh.
Mother.
I mean, that one cuts deep.
Damn.
She is on a roll. She's very, very mad.
She's mad.
Why is she mad?
I think
That is a
Zozo's ears go
Okay.
back.
Oh.
Okay,
That's to hear the scolding.
that seriously hurts Corvell's feelings. And then he's like, why would Muhaka do that? Like, Muhaka out of all people. And then he's like, and then you realize, oh, it's because Muhaka must be hurting right now. And so then he's like, Muhaka,
No.
I know you didn't mean that, but it still hurt anyway. It's like, what's wrong?
I think she meant it.
Mm.
He's like, you just need to throw a temper tantrum and yell at all of your old friends who...
I don't throw temper tantrums. I just say the
Really?
things that I think in very angry and unfiltered ways.
Let's ask an impartial third party. So do you think that Muhaka's throwing a temper tantrum?
Zozo not know what is temper tantrum, but Zozo, when he hear words that Muhaka say, feel bad. Everyone try their best, but lots of ladies are scared. Some people are bad. Please, everyone, pet Zozo Ba'ab fur, feel better.
I'm sorry, Corvell. It was... I should not have said what I said.
I know it was weird seeing an elf. I haven't seen one since Arn.
I knew she was hiding something and I was going to get down to it, but I didn't expect that. And
I don't think
they
any
did
of us
not know
did.
how to react. She is very angry, so very angry, and I don't know entirely what to think of her. I don't think she is linked to this, and her anger stems from something else.
Yeah, lady seemed angry. Don't fully trust. When I saw ears, I like elf. Remind me of friend. Make me feel sad. Maybe everyone a little shook up. Maybe we go help other help out belief.
You're right, none of that matters. Elf, not elf. She is not. It has nothing to do with the mystery right now that is at hand. We should go find belief and see how the coin.
But maybe it does.
Yeah, I think it absolutely does have something to do. You said it was like probably female-shaped footprints and blood coming from there. She's
thought
the
you
one
stormed
hiring
off.
people.
Wait, are you there? Did you storm off? I thought you stormed off.
I
Otherwise,
stormed off towards Corvell. I stormed away from you, and you caught up to me.
Makes sense.
Terrible storming.
It was more of a dramatic exit
D
than
minus.
A
than a
flounce.
permanent.
You were
It
just
was a-
waiting around
yeah.
the corner, huffing.
So you guys eventually all meet back up in the library. Belief, you are able to find actually several books on monster lore. That's something they have a lot of. So why don't you go ahead and make an investigation check?
I thought as much. Don't start with me. All right, 1 sec. Investigation.
And while you're making that roll, I think Corvell, as you're walking through the halls, you hear loud footsteps kind of coming up behind you, and then you hear it. And you turn and you see Zareen. It says,
No,
I
you
saw
go.
what you did. You killed that monster. It was very impressive.
Huh.
Lady Petra has asked that I give this to you. Well, I asked if I could give it to you. And she kind of smiles nervously, and she hands over a box.
Corvell will put on his biggest, like, aw shucks, sort of act, and yeah, he'll be like, oh, I didn't do anything, we all did it, blah blah blah, acting very humble, but yeah, he'll look at the box and see what's in it.
It is a brooch inside, kind of like a clasp for a cloak or something. That it's beautiful. It looks old, and even at first glance, it looks magical. And Zareen says, "It has been in Lady Petra's family for some time. It is meant to keep you safe. And now that you are the one keeping her safe, it seems appropriate."
Zareen, thank you so much. He says, you have to know that I know there's a lot going on right now, and there's not a lot of people that we feel we can trust, but me and my friends will do anything that we can to protect Lady Petra. And he says, I'd like to come talk to the both of you soon, actually. I might have an opportunity for the performance of a lifetime.
Yes, of course. We will expect you this evening, perhaps for some tea.
Yes.
And she sort of nods and flounces off. And Zozoba'ab, I think it is apparent to you, looking over Corvel's shoulder at this item, that it is molded in the shape of the shield of Elsidon. And is polished to a mirror brightness.
Oh, this is beautiful piece. This is from Zingdan School. Zozo Bob recognized from decorative art class. History.
Oh, you're right.
Notice filigree swirls on side. Elsidon is Elsidon shield.
Oh, yeah, it's marked on the back. Limited edition. This is 3 of 4.
Oh yeah, that's right. Says Lennox. I see.
It's worth quite a bit, I imagine.
And as you're all in the
No, it's
library,
priceless.
you walk in to Belief, kind of head in hand in a book, having just read the passage that explains that lycanthropes are only hurt by silver if it gets in their blood. So if they are attacked with a silver weapon, or like if they eat it or inhale it, not just touching it. Common misconception.
That's okay. Next time we can just get a silver dagger and cut everybody a little bit.
And as you walk in and show this, show off your new trophy, Belief, I think you would immediately recognize this as a brooch of shielding.
Oh,
which is a magic item.
That makes sense. Yeah, I kind of give it a look, and I'm like, oh yes, now I see what they've done there. Shield of Elsidon, Breach of Shielding makes sense. Very nice. Yeah. Also, by the way, we stab everybody with silver if we want that to be an effective test, which I expect that won't go over terribly well unless we have Mordot's blessing. Trust that went well.
Oh, no.
Guess
yeah?
what?
Yeah. It's all good.
And stab.
But
What?
I'm not going to. I didn't really catch all that. I'm guessing the light actually say though.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It was a dumb idea from Zozo Bob. Not surprisingly.
no worries. Okay. Anyway, all intermediate ideas aside, I think that we need to actually pool what we think is actually happening here and get a bit more proactive about this. I'm tired of just reacting.
Corval just said that. We're already on it. You're reacting to us.
As you guys sit around these sort of tables in the sparse library, I think we get a little bit of a montage of you guys talking about this stuff, and we'll come back at the top of next session and go over sort of your review. But we see, I think, just this beautiful moment of the moonlight beginning to filter through the tall, the stained glass window that's in the ceiling of this big library chamber. And we hear the talking, and we zoom in on Proof, who is sitting up on a shelf, perched maybe on one of the ladders that goes up to the second floor, who has noticed that something has changed since the last time that he was in this room. There was at one point a statue that was under a cloth, and the cloth has clearly been moved and is now sort of only partially covering it. And I think he notices this, and then we just see the door of the library starting to open. And that is where we are going to leave tonight's session. Drama! Always drama! All right, guys,
So
thank you
much.
so much for joining us for episode 4. We will be back next week with episode 5. Until then, be sure to tune into all of our awesome shows here on ManaPot and join us in the Discord, follow us on social, all that good stuff. Thank you for being here. Stick around because we're gonna raid another awesome channel. All right, thanks everybody. Good game. Bye.
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 Bye.